There we go. All right. Hi, Pat.
Hi. I couldn't paste and copy your password, but when I wrote it in, it worked.
When you just clicked on the link, it wasn't enough to get in, or did you have to do?
Well, I somehow something happened to my Zoom application or something, and so it didn't accept it, and then I had to download a whole, I don't know, just past day or two, something happened to it. So when I got back, I just used the password stuff. So I didn't do the link, is basically what I'm saying.
Okay. That's good to know. I'm just trying to figure out, I just make sure it's not the link that isn't working. It was just that you had a different way of accessing it.
Well, I got in with the ID and the password, but I copied and pasted it. When I copied and pasted the password, it wouldn't work. But when I
When
put
you
it in myself manually, it worked.
Hi, Marianne. How are you? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. So there's, you don't have sound enabled on your computer. You just have video. So I can see your mouth and I'm talking to Mariam, but I don't see your, I don't hear you. So do you have, do you see are you on a computer? Just kind of go nod or not. Are you on a computer or on an iPad? I can't hear you. So what you're saying, I guess you're not talking to me. Probably talking to someone in the room. Okay, I'm trying to, can you hear me? Oh, you can't even see me because I had my, okay, I'm gonna let someone else in until Marianne answers me, but I'm gonna see if I can write to her. Can you hear me, Marianne? Hello, can you hear me? Nope, she can't hear me. Okay, but you can hear me, so she needs to get her sound going. Okay, so I'm gonna let someone else in who's in the waiting room. I'm gonna help them. Can you hear me now? Let me see if I write to her. Okay, so let me let everyone else in. All right. Let's see who else gets connected. There we go. Susanna is coming in. And Miss Killian. Hi, Susanna.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in years.
I was gonna say, it's so fun to see faces that it's been forever. I've been seeing certain people over the summer a lot online.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen you, God, yeah, since around this time last year or even longer.
It's probably longer. I stopped driving over the pass, you know, and this is the one class that I never got to take. So I was really thrilled to see that it was available online.
Online has been a boon to you. Wonderful. Well, I'm checking on sound and stuff like that, and it looks like you and I are talking just fine. So let me go ahead and say, hi, is that Leon over there who just arrived? Okay. Go ahead and turn your sound off to talk to me. You're muted.
So, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Io sono Leonardo, but you know, in America, I'm Lee. You can say Leon.
Okay, nice to meet you, Leon.
Piacere.
It's great. I'm seeing people I haven't seen in a while and people I have never seen. So this is awesome. Nice to meet you, Leon. And I can see our sound is working fine. So we just had Marianne trying to listen in and not getting in. So I was waiting for her to, she dropped out and in again because her sound wasn't coming. So hopefully she'll drop in again for me to try keep helping her. Okay, so there, oh no, that's Marcia. She'll be fine. She's been in the classes. I'm waiting for Mariam. All right, well, so here we go. And, all right, so while I'm waiting for Mariam to come back, while I'm trying to help her connect, I'm gonna not do the actual, official introductions and beginning of the class until everyone's here, which should be in another 10 or 15 minutes because of the staggered beginning. Probably, what time is it? 10 more minutes. But meanwhile, I wanted to show you all a little bit about some of the basics. If you have not an online course with me, here we go, of how we're going to conduct the class and how we're going to use Zoom as a learning environment as opposed to just sitting and watching. We're going to do some active work here. Let me take this off from there. There you go. Hi, Marcia, back there in the background.
Hi, Deanna.
Nice to see you. Okay, testing sound. And Jarlene, are you there? Is it working too? And hi, Trisha. Is that Trisha? Or at least that's the name of your iPad?
Creation.
Triatia. Okay, great. I actually have a friend, Trisha, so I was beginning to go, no, that's a little bit different. But Triatia, nice to meet you. I'm Deanna.
Hi,
So
Deanna.
for Leon and Triatia, who don't, I've also got a slightly strange way of saying my name, which is Deanna, because I'm from Argentina, so I say it in Spanish. And here's coming in. Right now I'm just checking on sound, making sure that everyone who's getting in is able to hear, and I'm concerned that Marianne isn't rejoining. I'm going to email her from this side. I'm trying to make sure that everyone has a good connection, everyone who's joining us, and you are all fine. Hi there, Darlene, I can see you now.
Audio and video.
Okay, so let me
It's not working.
see. Hello there, Becky. Can you hear me?
Oh, is that because the speaker on the TV?
Okay. Is someone have noise in the background that I can't see because I'm not seeing anyone's mouth moving, but I'm hearing some sound. Let me see. Becky, hello, are you there? Okay, I'm not getting answers. Right now I'm just checking to see if everyone's there, so I need some people to answer me with sound. Okay, so if you are hearing me, please say yes or no. And if you're not, then I need to help
Yeah.
you. Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Yes, is that Becky? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Becky and Owen.
So do we need multiple machines hooked up for this class or?
it depends. Oh, there's Marianne again. Can you?
I mean, we each have a Mac that will hook up and.
And we each have an iPad, but we only use separate iPads if we have to break out in groups. Then Owen can go upstairs, so we don't have
for now, let's wait and see. So Becky and Ellen are in my Photoshop class, so that's why I know what's happening because they have two devices, and you'll see, those of you who just arrived, that I've proposed that people who have more than one device, or at least more than one monitor, to connect from those two devices. So I'll explain that in a minute, and then you guys can decide, Becky, and Owen if you want to do that or not for this class. To me, as far as I'm concerned, it's the same as the other one, where you do need both, but some people here have not heard that whole process yet, so I'm going to explain it to everyone, and then you'll get to decide. Marianne just joined, and I need to help her because her sound wasn't working before. So let me see if she sees that I'm writing to her. Hi, Marianne. Let me read this. Let's see if she sees the note that I wrote to her. Trying to get her to see that she's not answering. Okay. So guys, if you notice, when people have no sound, the first thing I'm trying to do is connect. And in this case, I'm trying to connect to Marianne. And I'm trying to connect to her by writing in the chat. So if you're seeing something up here in the chat, I need everyone in the chat to write that they're here. So every day when we start the class, I need you to go to the chat and just say, hi, I'm here. You know how up there, if you read it, Marsha said, Marsha Prudence here, Pat Watruba's here. It's kind of like the attendance. You can also just say, hi. It doesn't need to have your name. So everyone needs to do that as soon as class starts. That way I get your attendance, okay? So Leon, you weren't here a second ago. I was saying that
Oh, I was here.
go to the chat. Oh, you heard me?
Yeah.
Go to the chat and write in and say hi or hello or I'm here or whatever you want to say, because then that alone registers your name for me, and I get your attendance that way. Okay, so it doesn't need to be some amazing anything. It just needs to be writing something. I'm still worried that Marianne is not able to hear me.
I don't even have, like when I type in, it's giving me that rejection beep sound.
So I'm in.
When you type in the chat,
Yeah, like I've got the pointer underneath the lowest person who said something, but it's not like giving me that little cursor to, it's not letting.
you should see something that says to everyone, type message here. That's where you should be writing. Do you not see something like that?
Oh, way down at the bottom, I see everyone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at the very bottom. There you go.
Where
Perfect.
is?
Still not.
Yolanda, good morning. Nice to see you. Hi, Annette. How you doing? Okay, so I'm
It's not letting me
doing
in.
the sound check. Again, it's Marianne's the only one I cannot get connected, and I'm trying to, let me see if I can just send her an email. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with everyone else because Marianne's still not answering my chat either, so I'm not sure what she's seen or not. And yes,
Where-
Triesha.
Triacia. Where is the chat?
Okay,
I'm not
so
seeing
let
it.
me just talk to everyone now. Perfect.
All right.
Okay, so at the bottom of your mouse, of your
I have an eye.
Zoom screen, there's a toolbar that has things like mute and stop video and chat and start video and that kind of things. Do you see it at the bottom of your?
Mine's at the
You have
top.
to close your mouse, and it's a control bar at the bottom. And in that control bar, you'll see a bunch of buttons that we'll be using. One of them, it says chat.
No,
Did you see it?
no, mine's at the top. I have an iPad.
Okay, so that was the next thing I was going to say, unless you have an iPad. So
Is
if
it
you
under
have an
the more?
iPad, things are reversed, actually.
Okay.
And if you have an iPhone, things are reversed. So
Okay,
then,
It's under
then you
more.
have
I found.
And the other thing I need everyone to do is to go. So there I go. I see Leon that you managed to write in there.
Yeah.
And let me see. The other thing that I need you to do is to turn on your participants. So in order to turn on your participants, how you do that is, again, for computer users in the bottom, if you have an iPad at the top, there's a button that says participants, which right now has a little number next to it, number 12. You need to click that, and it's an on and off kind of switch. If you click on it one time, it turns on, it opens up. If you click on it again, it closes. So I need you to leave it on. And if you can't find it, please let me know. But right now, I want everyone to turn on your participants. Now, the reason I need that is for you to see, on the one hand, you see at this, when it's on, you should see a listing of all the people who are in class and their names. But the important thing for me is that right at the bottom of that participants column, you have a little series of boxes. You have, oh, that might be Marianne's sound coming in. Let me admit that. You have a little blue hand. You have a green check mark. You have a red box, okay? And it does look a bit different in the iPad, but when you click on the participants, you should see them there as well. Now, if you see it and you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and give me a green check mark for a yes. And everyone has to do that. Even if you know where it is, the only way I know that you find it is if you actually go do the green check mark. And if you don't do the green check mark, I know that you still need help. All right, so there's someone who connected on the phone that I was hoping was Marianne, but Marianne is still not connecting, and now something on her computer is having trouble with the sound. Okay, so Annette,
Yeah,
are you able to find the little green check mark?
I see the green check mark, but how do I attach it to my name?
Just clicking on it.
Well, just click on it. Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Now see how the little green mark is marked as going. So if you guys look at your participants list, you should see that most people have a check mark on them. Marcia, could you please check on yours? And Becky, is that one that's, Becky has, okay, that's your extra one, the one that says Becky guest. Okay. So I'm leaving as Marcia and the, oh, there we go. Now I have whoever's on a phone number, the sound is now turned on. Can you hear me? Is that Marianne? Maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Marianne.
that's Marianne. Hi.
Hey. I was hoping that we could find a way for you to hear us now. I'm noticing that now to listen to me, you're on the phone. The other
Yes.
connection you were making, was that from a laptop or from an iPad or from?
That was on my laptop.
Okay.
But I couldn't, it said that I couldn't get audio or something from, unless I did a browse.
Can you connect again? Leave this connection going, which is your phone, and connect again from your laptop. And then I'll see you on your laptop and you can hear me on this, and then maybe I can help you fix the sound on your laptop. But I needed to have some way to hear you. So what you did is perfect. So guys, on the first email that I sent you all, if this happens to you in the future, remember I said, well, first try that, then try that, then try this. And the last one, just call. And that's what Marianne just did. So she just is calling in, okay? Now, when you call in, depending on the capabilities of your phone or not, you can at least have sound, and then we can talk about how to fix your computer. So I'm telling you this for any other meeting you're ever trying to join. You can always join by phone. It's kind of like the last solution. And sometimes it's the first solution. It's something you just want to hear while you're driving. You can't actually use a computer application when you're driving, but there's other kind of things that you might be able to listen in on, someone, a history lesson or something like that. So don't forget that there's the option of just joining by sound. But in our case, if you ever get into trouble like any of these classes where you have sound, at least then we're at least connected. Because in fact, I'm going to ask many of you that if you have a second device, that you actually connect. So there's about 3 people today in this class that have not taken a Zoom class with me yet. You might have taken someone else's class. But I'm going to explain to you that the whole thing that I asked you to do with the check mark is one of the ways that when I'm sharing my screen, I can still keep checking on you. When I ask you yes or no, then I'll ask you to do a yes. Now, for example, when classes started, I don't want to have to be asking each person if they're finding it. So I want to find everyone, make sure everyone knows where it is right now. So like Marcia and Charlene, you haven't yet clicked on yes. So if you don't know where it is, go to your participants button. So on that bottom panel, if you're on a Mac, you will see the word, if you're on a laptop or a desktop, you will see the participants. You can turn that on and off just by clicking on it. Each time you click, it turns either on or off, on or off. So turn it on, and at the bottom of that screen, that's where you'll find the yes and the no's and the check marks and the hands and stuff like that. So go ahead and do that. And Marianne, I don't know if you heard what I just said. There you go. You turned on a yes perfectly. I got a yes from everyone. So now I know that everyone has been able to find it. Okay. Now I can turn your check marks off, or you can just to turn it off, not to say yes or no or blue or anything. Just to turn it off, you need to just click on the yes again, and you'll notice how it turns off for everyone. Okay, so there you go. Good job, everyone, turning it off. So go ahead, and Leon, can you turn yours off just by clicking on the green check mark again? And the same thing for Marcia. Okay, perfect. Leon, the same yes that you clicked one time, when you click it again, it turns off, as opposed to now, give me a no. Yeah.
I was up next to my name clicking, not, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all at the bottom of the participants button is where all these things are. Perfect. You're all getting the message. So if you're confident that you got the whole yes, no thing down, now what I want you instead is to give me a little blue raised hand. So everyone click on the raised hand, the little blue raised hand that's right next to that. Yay, I got it going. Everyone's doing me the little blue raised hand. Now, Leon, to the left of the yes, there's the blue raised hand. Perfect. Okay, it looks like it's working. Now here's the good news. Over the summer, I taught this class, and I took in a ton of people, and I did the same thing with other summer classes, and I found that as much as in person, I'm usually able to handle a whole bunch of extra people beyond the basic. It was really hard to be able to help people one-on-one. So much as it hurts me, I'm trying to keep my classes smaller, and so this is going to be actually a class where we're going to get more hands-on than those of you who took my summer classes. So there's fewer of us, which I always think on the one hand it's hard because I would like to take everyone in, but this will be better because you'll be able to get your questions answered much more readily. So there's not that many more, just a few more people who haven't joined us yet who are in class, but most of you guys are here. I am this time going to clear your answers. See how now there's no little blue hands because I cleared them as well. So every now and then I can clear them. What I can't do is mark them for you because that's your response to me. But now and then I have a different question, and when I have a different question, I'll clear it and then have the answers for my different question. Okay, so so when you get online, the first thing you need to do when you come into class next week is to first turn on your participants button and go into the chat and go ahead and write, "Hi, I'm here. Hello, woohoo, yay, good morning," whatever you want to write is enough. You don't need to put your name. You can if you want, but you don't need to, because when you write, you don't see it. It just says "from me." But to me, it says "from Owen Lubo," "from Susanna K," "from Leon." Okay, so I see your name in the fact that you just say hello. All right. So that's why you don't see your own name, but I do see your name. All right. Okay. Now, if you can't hear me for any reason, there's always plan B, which is to write in that chat and to say, "I can't hear you," or "sound is wrong," or so like I'll be able to support you. Like I was trying to write to Marianne saying, "You have to go to your sound," and but at that point her chat wasn't turned on yet. So use your chat as a way to communicate with me if sound isn't working, okay? I can tell from here where your sound is not connected, all right? So during break, Marianne, I'm gonna try to go in and see if I can help you with your sound on your laptop. But right now, if you stay connected on both your devices, that's good. Okay? Now, the next thing that I want y'all to know is that there's 2 or 3 different ways to see the screen happening. And I have to switch. I have another computer that I'll be using for this class, but I need to switch to it because I am demonstrating things on 2 different computers, and you'll see why. Because there's different versions of photos happening, and I have one of each kind set up. Here we go. Okay, so I have a little video, not a video, sorry, a little where is it? Hold on. Oh. I've got the wrong, I just signed into the wrong little, no, sorry, it's not there. I've changed where I put your guys' materials. And I'm trying to find, I'm sorry, why is it not there? Oh, there's I shared, oh, because that's the old, hold on, I'm an old version. I'm trying to find some new files, some new folders, some new finds that I have for you and give you a copy. One sec. I had it all set up to go and then I didn't have this one ready to go. There we go, that's better. I thought I had given it to you guys, but I have not, it seems, so I'm gonna have to upload it again. I'm talking to myself, it would seem. It's just that I'm putting some files in your handouts and this one was missing. But now I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna share my screen of what I'm talking about. And this is your first example of what it's like to get a screen shared, but I first need to join us in this computer. So I had it set up, but I decided to change my connection. Okay, my sound, in fact, wasn't working with my other one, and that's why I'm having to change the connection. And now we're ready to go for both my computers, sorry. Okay, so when you, okay, so I'm ready to go. When you have your screen and you're trying to, like many of you guys maybe attended courses with me, maybe you guys attended lectures or participated in a book club or visited with family or went to church on Zoom, you kind of need to sit back and watch and talk. But in this case, you're learning a computer application and your screen that has Zoom is in the way of you using your computer application that you're trying to learn. Does that make sense? Especially if this is the first time you've done this. So a computer class. So we need to do this shifting around of your Zoom screen to fill only half the screen so that in the other half you can do your work. And in the one half of the screen, you see what I'm doing and you're going, oh, okay, so I need to click on this, move that, enter this. But on the other half, you need to be able to do it yourself. So that's why if you have 2 devices, it'll become much easier for you, where in one device, you just see me talking and in the other device, you're doing the work. So like your computer can be the one that you do your work with and your iPad can be the one that you see me from. So if you only have one device, then you have to be able to switch and put, you know, me on one side and Zoom on the other side if it's a computer screen. Now, if you only have an iPad, then you have to switch from Zoom, me showing you, back to photos and doing it. And then Zoom, me showing you, and photos, me doing it. So I want to have an idea of what kind of devices you're working on, and if you have a second device, I can help you figure out how to set it up. And you need to join the meeting from both devices. So I kind of know how the people who are set up who were with me or in other classes in the summer, but there's some people that I don't know. So for example, Triesha, you said that you're on an iPad. Do you also have a laptop that you could connect,
No,
or you're solely on the laptop, on the
I
iPad?
have an iPhone, but I haven't found your Zoom connection or to be able to connect it.
Yeah, and the phone, of all things, really only works for sound because it's so
Oh,
small. I mean,
right.
it works, but how much can you see on a little screen of me pointing to something that then you can click on it yourself, right? So it's
Right.
sometimes better than nothing. But for the most part, I don't mention phone. We will be using our phone to input photos and things like
Can
that.
you do me a favor and get my iPad from my car?
Okay, and Marianne, since your sound is on your phone, and you're just speaking, is that you're the one who said that to get your iPad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a solution. If you have an iPad as well, to just click on the same link, access your email or wherever you got my information from your iPad, and then click on the link and join us from the iPad. And the reason I'm saying that is because then you'll be able to see the work that I'm showing, and then to do it on your computer versus on the phone. All you can do is hear me. And the iPad, you should be able to do both. Now, when you have to divide two devices, things get a bit easier for you. But if not, then plan B is you need to scooch things over sideways. And in order to do that, I'm going to ask you to first disconnect your Zoom. How many of you have Zoom filling out your entire screen? Like, boom, it's from end to end. Yeah. For most, that's the default setting for Zoom. When you start it, it fills your screen. So if you are on a computer, on a laptop or on a desktop, you can disconnect that by hitting the escape key. So hit the escape key. And even if you already have it disconnected, hitting the escape key doesn't hurt anything. This doesn't work for iPads. This is just for people who have a keyboard, laptop, or desktop. When you hit the escape key, now your Zoom should have disconnected from that full screen mode it was in. And now it's grabbable from the sides. You can grab that box with your mouse and kind of scooch it and make the Zoom half as big as your screen, so that on the other half, you can do your own work. So go ahead and tell me whether that's working.
Yep.
Now, Marianne, on your phone, there should be an option for you to be able to mute the phone. You can still hear me,
Okay.
but then you
Okay.
don't
Just.
every time you speak.
Oh, you're hearing it. Okay.
Okay, and then when you do want to speak with me, then you can turn that sound on. So for everyone who's here, a lot of you guys have your sound constantly on, which is fine if there's nothing or no one in the background making any kind of noise, or no dog barking, or no person talking. But otherwise, you need to leave yourself muted so that any noises from this, from the surrounding area doesn't then come into the class. So on the bottom left, for computer users, not iPad users, you see the big mute button. So go ahead and keep that muted while you're not speaking. And then there's this quick way to turn it on when you do want to just say yes, no, maybe, which is just hold down your space bar and speak. And that's a temporary opening up of your sound. So go ahead and try that out. Hold down your space bar and see if you first need to be no sound. You first need to be muted, okay? So first, click on that mute button so that it's off, so that you have a little cross mark over your sound. So some of you have it on all the time. First turn it off, and then hold down the space bar and speak. And hopefully we'll hear many of you guys speak at the same time by saying, hello, I'm testing it. Okay. So hold down your space bar.
It's not working. I had to unmute.
All right.
No, it's working.
So if for some of you it won't work, and I'll tell you what the workaround is for that. But first it needs to be off. And if it's off, hold down the space bar and you'll see your little mouse microphone icon uncross itself and you can speak, and then you let go of the space bar and it works again. Now, here's the important thing. It has to be the main program that's running. So sometimes, especially on a Mac, there's another program that's running. And if it's not Zoom that's running, then that won't work. So the key to that is look at the top left of your screen, at the very top next to the little Apple icon. And if it says Zoom, right, zoom.us, then if that's what it says, then Zoom is your main program that's running. And that's when the space bar down should work. There's also a possibility that it's been turned off in the settings, okay? But if you have anything else on, like you have, if it says Finder on top, or if it says Safari, or if it says anything else on top, then you need to prioritize Zoom again for it to work, okay? So look up at the top left of your screen where there's a little apple, that very, very furthest top left, and see what the word next to Zoom, next to the apple is. And if it's not Zoom, then go down to your computer's dock and click on the icon for Zoom. And the icon for Zoom is this little blue, not exactly square, but almost square with a little white camera on it, okay? So Susanna, I see you're turning it on and off. Are you doing it with a space bar or with the button?
Right now, suddenly, when I have the space bar down, but if I let it go, it mutes again. So it doesn't stay unmuted.
It doesn't, but it's exactly what it should do.
Oh, so you could do it just for a short time and hold the.
Yeah, so when you want to sit and just talk to me for a while, then you need to turn the whole, like with your mouse, go and turn on the sound. And it stays on and you talk and talk and talk. But many times I just want to hear you go, no, or yes, or oh, thank you, or something like that. And for those kind of like just a sentence, hold the space bar, keep it held down, speak, da 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 da, let go of the space bar and it's off again. Okay, so did everyone try that out? Did it work for you guys?
Yes,
Now this is the time for you guys to vote with your little participants buttons, yes, no. So if the turning it on and off to speak while you're holding and letting go and it goes off again, then say yes if it worked for you. Say yes by giving me a green yes, it worked for me. Okay, and Marianne, I see you joining with the iPad. All right, so give me a yes. Now, Triesha, I don't think you have that option. In an iPad, you don't have that option. You have to either turn yourself on or off, speak or off, and you need to be in charge of that. You can't do the little quick answer. Okay, some people haven't answered yet. Just making sure if you're not answering because it didn't work, or because it didn't, or because it, yeah, I think it worked. I think everyone tested it. I don't know if Marsha tested it.
Now mine isn't working. It worked briefly and now it's not working again. And I didn't change it.
So go look at the Apple. Does it still say Zoom?
Oh yeah, it's still, yeah, it's Zoom. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm looking in settings and I don't see anything to change. What would I change in
well,
settings?
no, but it was working before, so it's not your settings. So
Okay.
what you need to make sure is that Zoom is in your forefront and that you have it clicked on. And then you need to have your sound off to start with, and your sound is on right now. There you go. If your sound is off, now try it out. Put the space bar down and speak. It's not. Okay. So then plan B is you go to your little icon. Okay. So at the bottom left where you see your microphone, right next to the microphone, and Marianne, this is the one that I want you to test to see if we can get your sound back. There's a tiny little arrow. So I'm gonna first share my, I'm gonna share something with you that shows you the tool settings. So wait, I'm gonna do that right now, okay? So Annette, you have a raised hand. Is that on purpose or? Oh, Not there right now. Okay, so now you should be seeing a little presentation I have that says Zoom tips. Are you seeing that on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to scroll through a couple of choices. Here on this image, you can see that I am pointing to the little microphone icon on the left and the stop video on the right. You see that? Now, I'm putting a little right next to the microphone. Do you see this tiny little kind of up arrow that's to the right of the microphone? Okay, so I'm showing it a little bit bigger over here. You have the microphone and you see this little kind of notch. That's a little bit of an up arrow. You see that? You won't have that on an iPod. You will have that if you're on a desktop. And the same with the video. It has that little kind of up arrow. That's little up arrows where you handle audio or video settings from, okay? So if you click on those, you should be able to see, and let me move on to the next one. You should be able to see, hold on. I'm not on a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and show these, and I don't have the PowerPoint presentation with me, so I'm having to jump through which slides I'm showing you as a PDF, so give me a second here. Here, when you click on this arrow, you should see a whole little subset, a little menu that pops up. Okay, so this is the menu for audio and video settings. The one that I'm trying to refer to now is this next one, the mute settings. I'm trying to make it a bit bigger, but it's hard to zoom in. Maybe that's making it a little bit bigger for you. Hold on. So when you click on that little arrow next to mute, see how it says audio settings, leave computer audio, switch to phone, all those kind of things. Depends on the sound that you have. You'll have different choices. But the audio settings right there, that's the one that takes you to those audio settings where you can make those choices, okay? Now, those of you who have two devices, you're gonna have to come here, and on one of the other device, you have to leave computer audio, all right? Now, this is only if you're in that whole issue with sound, which right now is only a couple of you. So the rest of you, you're fine with sound, okay? You don't need to change these settings. So if this is getting kind of like, oh, why am I having to do this? It's only for sound issue, people who have issues with sound, okay? So Marian, if you go into this little icon on your computer, on the one that doesn't have audio, go and see if maybe you have to change the microphone or go to same as system or built-in microphone or things like that, and see if that helps you, okay? And for Susanna, go into these audio settings, and in there, one of the options is to activate the spacebar choice or not, okay? All right, I wanna leave, yeah. Who's speaking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way back where but next to my Apple, it still says Safari. So I'm just going to hold off. I'm listening, but I can't do anything.
Okay, next to your Apple, it still says Safari. You need to go down to your dock, to your Mac dock, and find a little icon with Zoom and click on that. Okay. Do you know what I mean by the dock? Most people have it.
Yeah, I do, but I don't see it down there either.
On your computer, the one that
right
connected with and seeing me, you don't see on the dock
right
icon? Huh.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not ready to start having you guys share your screen, but later I can help you guys by having you share your screen. So then
thank you.
I'll talk you in. And if I have any more things to do with sound with you, we'll do them over break so that everyone doesn't have to be listening in on to all of that.
Thank
For some of you guys, it helps you because it's happening to you too. But for the rest of you, you're sitting back going, well, my sound is fine, so I'm going to continue. As long as you have your other setup there, you can hear me. Now, Yolanda wants to know, see, Yolanda's asking me something on chat, and you can do that too if you can't make yourself heard. And she says, do we need to raise our hand if we want to tap on that space bar? Nope, it's unrelated. The hands don't need to be up. So I'm clearing everyone's hands right now. Any choices, yes, no's, or hands, and the whole space bar thing should technically still work. Now, if it doesn't work, just let it be, because you have to change your audio settings, and I can work with you more one-on-one after class or during break if you want to help you with the audio settings. Right now, I want to move on to the photos program that we're all here to learn. And I have one or two more Zoom things to say to you though before we do that, which is I'm showing you how you can see the course. You could show it like, you could be seeing something in mode called speaker view where I'm really big and talking and everyone else is a little strip. How many of you guys are seeing your screen that way? Go ahead and just kind of give me a little yay fingers just right now. Say yes, me, raise your hands like that. Okay, so that's speaker view. But the other way to see this whole Zoom course would be in this mode, which is, you know, the Brady Bunch view where we're all in little boxes where you get a feel for the whole course and everyone who's here. How you switch from one to the next is by clicking on that little icon that's on the top left of your screen. So maybe it says speaker view. That means you're in gallery view. Gallery view would be the equivalent to the Brady Bunch view where you have all these little boxes. So what you see up there is the opposite, okay? Because it basically means that if you're seeing a bunch of people, then you want to just see one person, you have to click on the word speaker view and it'll switch to this mode. And then it's when you just want to see one person. And then when you want to go back to see the gallery view, maybe it says gallery view or maybe it just shows you the icon. And then you go back, okay? So that way you switch from back and front, from view of seeing all of us to view of seeing only the person who's speaking. So go ahead and test that. Switch the view. Go to speaker view. Now, if it says speaker view, you are not in speaker view. You're seeing all of us speaking. And when you click from speaker view to gallery view, then you see everyone laid out underneath you. And sometimes you might want one or the other, but when I'm demonstrating something, it's better to be in speaker view so that you see my demonstration on a bigger screen. Now, when I am sharing, like right now, it forcefully is shifting you to speaker view, okay? So I'm gonna start sharing my screen in a minute and then you'll be able to go back and forth. All right, and then the only other important thing that I'm gonna tell you is that we're all gonna have to at some point share, you're gonna have to share your screen at some point. And when you share your screen, there's two steps. Everyone sees a big green share screen button that you have at the bottom of your control bar, not for the iPad, but for everyone else. For the iPad, I haven't used an iPad for a while, but it's similar to the phone. And I believe okay. I'm trying to see on the phone where I can see the screen share for the iPad. There is an iPad in the house that my kids have for school. I'm gonna see if I can borrow it so that when you're in class, I can help you with your version. But I don't know by memory where the buttons are on the iPad.
On our iPad, it's right next to the start video. There's a thing that says share content.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for doing that. And for telling me where it is. So it looks like it's next to the start video. Do you see the share content, Tricia?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want you to share right now. I don't need you to share right now, but thank you. It's share content and not share screen. That's good to know for me. All right, so it'll be two steps. You're gonna have to click on this button first when you need to share your screen. And then after clicking on that, there's another step. You'll be seeing this big white window showing up. And then you still need to go to the bottom right of that window and click on a little blue share button. I don't know why they bother to make the big green one so obvious if then they don't make this one very obvious, but it's two things you need to click to share your screen. So a lot of times people get hung up in the middle sharing the first one and then they don't go to the second one. It's step one, step two to share your screen, okay? And then when you're when you have share your screen, then I can help you with your settings, because your settings, you might not be able to explain to me what's happening, and then I'll see your screen and then I can help you with whatever. Okay. So for everyone who's having issues during the course, you'll have to share your screen. The first time it'll take a couple of steps, and don't worry, it's fine. And then once you become good at sharing your screen, it'll become second nature. And that's the fastest way to make the class along, when I can see what's happening. Versus right now, I'm in the blind trying to explain what button to click, and it's hard for everyone to follow. Versus if you share your screen, I point to the button. And in Zoom, I can't do that because Zoom buttons don't share, but for the photos program, it will share and life will be good. Okay. All right. That's kind of all I want to share with you about this. I'm going to stop this share. And now that Carol has joined us, let's go ahead and get going with the main part of today's class, which is what hopefully you're here to learn, which is how to organize and download and upload and organize and fix and make your photographs and videos look and sound much better and be findable, right? And that's what this class is all about, with this strange little iLife title. Very a few times do people figure out what it is that the class is all about. So I'm glad you guys who are here figured it out. And let me just say that if you came because of the catalog description, you might notice that it also says that we'll be learning iDVD and a couple of other names, but those programs don't exist anymore. We're actually in the process this time for sure of changing that curriculum description. It's what I need to do in between classes. And after, 6 months or a year, the whole process it takes, that description will finally change, and this class name will finally change to be something more logical.
So GarageBand is no more GarageBand?
But GarageBand is still there. So the only programs that exist right now are Photos.
Yeah.
It used to be iPhoto, now it's called Photos.
Yeah.
iMovie.
Yeah.
And GarageBand. iDVD and iWeb, I think, are the other two that it mentions, do not exist anymore. So those we will not, they don't exist. So those we're not going to be using.
No DVD?
What's that, Leon?
No DVD or HD?
No, I think it said iDVD or iWeb are the other two that are mentioned in that description.
Yeah. Okay.
Those haven't been viable programs for many, many years. But because of the whole bureaucracy and, issues, when a course has been approved by the state, that has to stay its description, even though things in technology is very hard. Things change all the time. So that's why the course still says that, but we won't be teaching all of that. I won't be teaching all of that. They don't exist. What you do have in your computers, and what I do need to teach you though, that's not in the description, is the fact that all these programs connect through the iCloud. And so I'll be teaching you about Photos and iMovie and sound, but it'll be 90% about Photos. And then whatever we organize inside of our Photos, then we'll have a chance to put it together into a movie. And the one program that I have not had time when I did this online, when I had many other people, was to share about GarageBand. So usually we would reserve half a day for that. I'm going to see if I can get to it today. That there's less of us, not today, but this session. But for the most part, that's where you make music. You make music. iMovie is where you make videos, and Photos is where you handle photographs and videos. And that's the part that's confusing. Because when you take a picture with your camera, depending on what button you press, you can also take a video, right? And that same video gets stored in your phone. Now, if you have a digital camera, and I don't have my digital camera right next to me, but anyway, a digital camera, you can also either take photos or videos on your digital cameras. All of that gets stored by the Apple, into the Photos program. Even though the word is photos, both your videos and your photographs get stored in the Photos program. And if you haven't used it too much yet, you might not know that. But yeah, that's how it works. So so there's some editing you can do to your videos inside of the Photos program, but when you want to put them together, splice them together, give them transitions, and make them into a movie, then you need to move into the iMovies program. And when you want to put music into it that's yours, you get to have to make the music. Then you would use GarageBand. And when you want to use music from someone else, then you stay in iMovie and you don't need to use GarageBand. So that's how those three programs connect. Okay. Now, how many of you guys are musicians? There's always a musician or two. Nope, not this time. No little hands raised. There's always someone who's a musician. Okay. I'm not a musician either. Yes, I learned how to play some instruments when I was a kid, right? But I'm not a musician. I don't compose. GarageBand makes anyone who doesn't know how to compose be able to put together with a couple of pre-recorded beats and things like that. And you can actually make some music of your own. So without being, a composer, that's the idea, that you can make something that at least isn't copyrighted. And if you're a musician, then you can actually record, studio level recordings and use it to edit amazing kinds of sound. So it's a very, it's very easy to put a few things together knowing nothing about music. And for people who are professionals, they can use it to record the entire sound for all of their sound for their whole entire movie, or make original music. Okay, so it's a very versatile program. That's the one that I have not had a chance to get to when I taught this online. Online, the course goes slower. So I don't promise to get to GarageBand, but we will get to iMovie. Okay. All right. So let me see. I am going to get now a show of hands. I'm going to clear all of your answers. And I need a show of hands for people whose primary camera is their iPhone or their smartphone, even if it's an Android, their phone. Then go ahead and give me a little yes. This is where I take most of my photos in. Give me a little yes mark. Okay. All right. Now, for those of you who said, yeah, it's primary, by the way, I haven't really had a chance to introduce myself because I jump into making Zoom work. So I'm a photographer and a designer, and I have big professional cameras, and I do video editing, and yet I have to say that this is my primary camera. So what I mean by primary is it's the one that I have with me all the time. So when I'm walking around, and especially my kids were growing up, now they're at the stage where, you don't take photos of them all the time because by now they're much older. They're 13 and 17. And, I don't whip out my camera all the time, but for the last 17 years of my life, there were these cute little guys growing up, and I would whip out my camera every 2 seconds to take a picture of some cute thing happening. So that's why I call it my main camera, because the one that's with you, the moment you want to, oh, look at that beautiful sunset, you whip it out and you take that picture. That is your main camera. Now, I do have my professional camera where I take the pictures that I intend to take professionally, but that I don't hang around with that around, my hip like I do my phone. So if that's how it works for you, that you take a lot of your photos with your phone, then that's your primary camera. Okay, now, how many of you guys have a digital camera? That some people are really good about carrying their digital camera with them all around, and it can be everything from a point and shoot to a big, DSLR with all kinds of lenses. Go ahead, and if that's you, then raise your little blue. Oh, I see you had. You don't need to change your choices. If you had your hand up for saying that your main camera is your phone, leave that as a yes. And if those of you from whom your main camera is your digital camera, by that I mean not your phone. Just the digital camera could be a point and shoot or one with you know, the whole DSLR, then give me a little yes, a little blue hand. Okay. So if you
I'm
don't,
not seeing any of those symbols anymore because the gallery's taken up my whole screen. So
okay, so go down to the participants button and
Yep.
click on it again because it'll turn on again.
ah,
Okay, so if your participants disappears, just click on the participants button again because it's an on and off switch. And when you turn it on, then you will see it there. Okay, so let me see. A couple of you guys, so Owen and Carol and Charlene, you guys are photographers of the digital camera type. How about you? No, that's the second Susan, and I'm covering over. There we go. Okay, there he goes. So the majority of you guys take the majority of your pictures on your phones. And some of you probably have both, like me, but I'm just asking for what's your majority. Okay. Great. I'm looking at the names. I had a request on names, but all your names seem to be okay. The request was that your name should be such that I can recognize it when I go to the roster to give you attendance. Like if your name is Mark and you show up as Tim because you're using someone else's computer, you need to switch it to the name that I would see on the roster. Okay. But it looks to me like your names are, well, I don't know Triesha, but is that, I don't know your last name, but would Triesha be the name that I'm going to see in your roster, in the roster for you? Okay.
Well, Wells.
Wells. Okay, great. And then everyone else seems to have names that I either recognize or that I know your first and last name. So that's good. I'm assuming, Leon, that just Galen is your last name and Leon is your first name. Is that so? Yeah? I can't hear you.
yeah. That
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't
that's
know why it's. I mean, I think that's because my
when you first signed into Zoom, that's the name that Zoom is picking up either from your email or from when you signed
from
into your
my
account.
city
And that's
college
what's saying that.
account,
But you can change that, but I don't need you guys to change it. Sometimes it's something that I cannot figure out, but this is good enough for all of you guys. Okay, so then I'm going to clear your answers and I'm going to say how many of you have been using the Photos program on the Mac for a while, or the iPhotos program for a while. For a while, I mean, you know it's there, you have it. Some of you have been using it avidly, but that you know it. You know how to handle some things around in your Photos program. You're comfortable with uploading and downloading the photos you want. You're comfortable with editing photos. You know, like you kind of know what the Photos program does. If that's you, go ahead and give me a yes. Don't bother saying no if it's not you. Just give me a yes if you're, you know, you're kind of comfy with the Photos program. I know that everyone knows there's more to learn, and that's why you might be here. But there's different experience. There's different people with different amounts of experience here. Okay. Now, how many of you have not really used the Photos program? I mean, you know the photos show up there, but you don't really know what to do with them. You don't know how to create albums. You don't know right now how to organize your photos. If you want to find a specific photo, all you can do is scroll forever until you find it. So it's there, but you're not really like using it to its, you just know it's there and you know your photos are there, but you don't know how to organize your photos into different albums and things like that, or how to share your photos efficiently. If that's you, go ahead and give me a little raised hand, a little blue hand. Okay. Okay, perfect. And then those of you who have never, if there's anyone who's never used the Photos program at all, you take pictures and you see them on your phone, but you never knew that there was an equivalent of the Photos program on your computer or anything deeper than that, then give me a little no. You just take photos, but then you don't really know what else to do with your pictures. After you take the photo, you see it, there it is, it's in your phone, yay, but you don't know what else to do. That's a little no. Okay. All right. So now I have a series of answers there. And so, and I don't necessarily need a particular person to look at the answer to say, oh, she knows a lot, he doesn't. But rather for you all to understand that usually in a class, we're gonna have a variety of experiences. And some of you might have already taken this class one time and you got so excited and you know there's a lot more to learn, so you're taking it again to know more. And others of you have never used it. And so when I'm teaching things and I'm explaining every class I teach, every single class I teach, there's a variety of experiences available. We're gonna make it work for everyone. But there's gonna be some things that I need to establish first, because depending on what operating system you're using, and depending on what settings you have in your iCloud settings, and so we're going to have to talk a bit about that, how Photos presents for you is different than how it presents for someone else in this class. So the ideal world is that you're going to pick up your camera, and I'm going to start with a phone being your camera, and the next thing, the example of a camera being your main camera. But you're going to pick up your camera, you're going to take a picture, and that picture, the ideal for Apple, but how Apple wants you to do it, and how they've set up the system for it to be pretty seamless, is that you take a photograph and you are maybe at someone else's house and you're connected to Wi-Fi, right? So you take a picture of them, you're visiting your kids, your grandkids, you're taking pictures, you're in their house and you're connected to their Wi-Fi. If at that same moment, this is the ideal situation, if at that same moment, someone in your own home could have your computer or laptop open, they could see those pictures showing up. Because you're taking them on your phone, and yet instantly they get pushed, is the word, through the rest of any devices that you own, as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi. And so if in that moment at home, someone is at home opening your computer and looking, those photos appear on your Photos program, okay? If that's how you have your computer set up, you don't even have to think about it. You take a picture, photos just appear in your computer. Or your iPad, take a picture on your iPad, they appear in your computer. If you only have an iPad, then that's the only place they stay. If you only have a phone, that's the only place they stay. If you only have a computer, you can't take pictures with your computer, right? So there's nothing in your Photos program. So it's when you combine these devices through your Apple ID that the photos begin to flow through all your devices, okay? So a couple of things, so this whole system that I'm talking about how photos go from one place to the other, that's the system that the Apple uses by having an Apple ID and having your same Apple ID entered in each of these devices. So if your Apple ID is in your phone and in your iPad and in your computer, then your photos appear on all three of them the moment they get taken. Does that make sense? We're going to talk more about what that Apple ID, how you enter it, how you do it. But the important thing is that the same account, the same Apple ID account has to be on all the different devices for this to work the seamless way. Now, there's other ways to use Photos, and I'll teach you plans B and C of how to use it. But the plan A, according to Apple, is that you should have your photos automatically circling through all your computers. Now, what if you're out in the camping at a lake and you take a picture with your phone? Well, there's no Wi-Fi where you are. So that photo stays in your phone, and it stays in your phone, and it stays in your phone, and it stays in your phone until you connect to Wi-Fi. And the moment you connect to Wi-Fi, say you walk into Starbucks and you happen to connect to the Starbucks connection. I don't know if you ever do that, but if you do that, then the moment you're on Wi-Fi, that photo gets pushed to your other devices, okay? So this happens through Wi-Fi. So if you go for 2 weeks and all you do is take pictures on your phone and you're not connected to Wi-Fi, those photos live in your phone. And guess what happens when you're leaning too far over that pontoon or over that kayak that you're sitting in, or over that stepping stone in your hike, and your phone falls into water? and your phone dies, where did those photos go? They went to wherever little photo heaven photos go to, because your device died without having connected to Wi-Fi. Thus, they didn't spread out to your other devices. Okay, so the whole goal of the whole connection to the iCloud through Wi-Fi is that if you take a picture, it spreads itself to the cloud and to your other devices. Thus, if your phone does die, you're in Santa Barbara, you're taking pictures, and you're out in the ocean doing a whale watching boat ride or something, and your phone dies. Well, guess what? All the photos in your phone that had been in your phone up until the moment you left your home or you left the Wi-Fi area, those are okay. They're still saved somewhere else. It's only the photos of the last, hour that you've been out in the water that died with the phone. Everything else was saved because you were connected to Wi-Fi. Okay, and that is connected and saved not only if you have a second device, but if you just have an Apple ID. So for example, if you own one device, for example, Triesha said that she just has the iPad. If you take a picture on an iPad, as long as it's signed into your Apple ID, your phones are set up signed to Apple ID, then all those photos that are stored in your photo are also being saved up in the cloud, which is a place that no one accesses, but your photos get saved on it. Okay, so your photos get saved up in the cloud, and if your iPad or your phones crash and die, don't worry. As long as you were connected to Wi-Fi, up until the moment that Wi-Fi disconnected, all the photos that you took up until that moment are still saved in the cloud. And that's the beauty of the cloud. It's kind of like the place that holds all your images. And from there, it gets spread to your computer, your iPads, your laptops, any other device that has your Apple ID installed in it. Okay. So I keep talking about phones because that's the ideal kind of system for Apple. You take your picture on your phone. Now, this also works if you're on an Android. So how many people here, I'm going to go ahead and clear your answers. How many of you have an iPhone, an actual iPhone, Apple brand? I don't care if it's new or old, an iPhone. If you do, give me a yes. If you, instead of an iPhone, have an Android, some other version of phone, then give me a raised hand, a little blue raised hand. So that means you have a smartphone, but it's not of the Apple variety. Okay, so Leon and Owen have Androids. How about Becky? Becky has an Apple, an iPhone, right? Is that so? Am I reading the answers correctly? Becky has an iPhone and Owen has an Android version.
Yes.
And Leon.
Although I have an older iPhone too, but I mainly use the Android.
Yeah, usually we use whatever phone we are using as the phone as our main camera. Okay, and then if you do not have a smartphone, then give me a little no. Okay. There's usually someone also who does or does not. Nope, not this time. Oh, okay. Marsha, is that a yes or a no? Marsha, I think you're on
I have an iPhone. Sorry, I hit that by accident. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna be telling you how the system works, and I have some handouts for those of you who don't have an iPhone, because you can connect to the iCloud system as well, but it takes a workaround. It's not so automatic as it is for iPhone users, but it still works. It's once you connect to the whole system and set up the apps, it still works. You need to be a little bit more deliberate about downloading your photos and putting them up in the cloud versus it just happening to you automatically. Okay, now there's a couple of questions that are showing up in the chat. I don't know if you guys are seeing the chat, and if you're not seeing it, you can click on the chat icon and it'll pop up for you separately under the participants list. And it says, Carol's mentioning that there's some changes in the photo with the current update. And I have handouts pointing you to where to go and find this kind of information. Okay, so the main thing I need to show you is my handouts. And in my handouts, I have links that take you to the latest information of updates, courses, how to find help. Because once the class is over, the computer keeps updating, right? The Apple keeps changing. And thus, for you to be able to see what the changes are, I provided you some links that you guys can keep using even after class is over to keep learning the new things that are happening. Now, the other question that's there from Pat is, if you delete something on your phone, does it stay on the cloud? So that question, which seems like a simple yes or no answer, has a whole 2 hours lecture worth of an answer. So that's what we're gonna be tackling once I explain it, and the whole iCloud system and all of that. Then the answer is, well, it depends. Are you set up that way, or are you set up differently? Are your settings such that your iCloud is connected to everything, or are you not? Because if your settings are all connected to all your devices and you delete on your one phone, yes, it deletes also on the cloud, and it deletes also from your computer. It deletes from everywhere because it's all one. But if you don't have the system set up that way, and I have it set up, you have it set up in a way that you don't connect through the iCloud to your devices, and you have to manually sync your photos from here to there, then you can delete something in one device and still have it in another. So that's a very tiny blurb of an answer of something that's going to take a few more days to develop the understanding of that completely. Okay, so don't go ahead and be deleting anything before you're ready to, or changing any setting before you're understanding all of these options, because you might be making choices that affect your photos, and you don't want to lose any photo. The important thing is to not lose any of your own personal photos while you adapt and modify what your choices are. Okay. And then the next question that's coming up is, of course, where are the handouts? I will take you to the handouts. I will show you how to access the handouts. I've recorded videos of how to do all these different things. And so I'm going to show you the links. These classes are being recorded. So I'm also going to show you where the recordings are, so that when the class is over, you can go and listen and review the recordings to say, where was that you said? Oh, the recording is there, and you can see again that explanation and stuff like that. So all of that is located in what I call my handouts folder. So I'm going to take you to that handouts folder, and there's a ton of information in there for you. One last thing I need to work with you guys on is to find out what version of photos you're using. Because over the last year, Photos has changed quite a bit. So if you are on the latest version of operating system, then your Photos does things that look one way. And if you're on an older operating system, not so old, just a year or so older, then Photos looks a bit different. So that's the reason I'm going to be showing you things on 2 different computers, where I have the latest operating system and the not so latest operating system, so that I can kind of help explain things to different people. But first, I need to know from you guys what operating system you're in. And that way, that might give me a better idea of what system that you're working with. So that goes to Carol's comment that there's some changes in Photos. It's not so drastic, but when you first look for things, I'll say, this is here, and you'll go, no, it's not on mine. It's there, but it's in a different place. The actual functioning of the program hasn't changed that much. It's the visual, where do I find it? So, so the first thing you need to tell me is what operating system you're using. So how do you do that? I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, and I'm gonna share the screen of this one computer to start with. And hold on, I need to move this out of the way for a little bit. And here we go. And so here I'm sharing one screen with you guys, and I need my other window here. Give me a sec. Okay. So are you guys seeing my, trying to see which window. Usually I can see which window I'm sharing, but I can't see which window I'm sharing with you guys right now. What window are you seeing? One that has, I don't know why it's hiding the window that I'm normally
Just the
sharing.
beard, whatever. It was said 2020. And it
It
just,
was the finder window.
Do you have a desert scene behind?
Desert scene.
Yeah. desert.
I changed the settings on the Zoom, and now I used to see what you guys were seeing, and in this version, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Okay, so if you go up to the little top left, let me put a little spotlight on my mouse so you can see my mouse moving around a bit better. There it is. Okay, so do you see my little mouse with a little red spot right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so up on the top left of this screen, see that little apple? If you click on that apple, About This Mac, and you click on About This Mac, you'll get a window. And this window will tell us what version of Apple you're on, okay? So this one says macOS Mojave version 10.14.6, all right? Now, this is not the latest version. The latest version is Catalina. And I have not joined this yet from my Catalina computer, but I will a bit later, and then you'll see, because between the photos that exist on Mojave and the photos that exist on Catalina, things have changed a little bit. Now, you could have something even older than that. So now I'm going to clear your answers. And go ahead, and those of you who have Mojave, like me, go ahead and give me a raised hand. If you see that it says Mojave, give me a little raised hand. If you see that it says Catalina, give me a little green check box. So for Catalina, it's a green check box. For Mojave, it's a raised blue hand. For those of you who see any other name, call it out and tell me what you are seeing. Okay, so go to your Apple. Once again, how we did this is you go to your Apple and click on About This Mac. And then a box here will say you might be seeing High Sierra or Sierra or Yosemite, or there's other names, okay? So go ahead and speak up and tell me if you see something that's neither Catalina nor Mojave.
How do you find it on an iPad?
Okay, so this is only for computers.
Okay.
The operating system for computers, be they laptops or desktops, is the Mac OS, as you see here, versus the operating system for an iPad or an iPhone is the iOS, the Mac iOS. It's a whole different creature, and it will make a difference as to what version of photos you have also on your Mac or not. But usually what happens with people when they have phones and iPads is that they automatically update to the newest version. So most people who have iPhones or iPads do have the newest version installed on their equipment. So for now, it does not matter. And you have to go into the settings to find out. You can go into the settings and find out what version you have, but that doesn't matter to me right now too much. What matters is the computer application. So some people are saying High Sierra, okay. And we have a Mojave on one, Catalina on another one, or High Sierra on the other one. Okay, so not Mojave, just Catalina and High Sierra. I'm asking Owen, no, I'm asking Carol. Carol? So go ahead and write by the way, when you're answering questions, sometimes people are sending me private messages, like you can send an answer to just me. When it's a personal thing, I'm not feeling good, I'm gonna have to bow out, that's a perfect thing to do. But if you're answering a question that's a question posed to the class, please, when you write, make sure that it says to everyone so everyone sees. And then you can see the answers for people who are not having their audio enabled. You can see them answering on audio. Okay, so most of you are saying Catalina. There's one High Sierra, two High Sierras, and a couple of Mojaves, like three or four Mojaves. Okay. So does anyone, no one has anything older? No one has Yosemite or leopard or any of the big animals, the big cats, tiger, none of those guys, snow leopard. Okay, so everyone's pretty updated because Mojave is the next to newest operating system, and Catalina is the newest operating system. Now, when I teach these classes, sometimes it doesn't matter because as people change, things slowly change and everyone kind of sees it. And then sometimes there's an operating system that makes things different enough that then when I explain things, people are like, well, that's not how it's on mine. That's not how it's on mine. And that's the difference between Mojave and Catalina. There's some visual differences in the system preferences and settings, and in how the cloud is set up and in how photos is set up, that there's like always like, well, wait, that's for me, it's this way, for me, it's that way, for me, it's this way, for you, it's not that way. And so over the summer, I was demonstrating everything on a Mojave computer and using students' Catalina's computers to demonstrate that. Now I have one computer set up with Catalina and one with Mojave. So I'm going to be able to switch and demonstrate on both. Okay. Now, the one that you have, Owen, that says High Sierra and Mojave should look very similar. So when I demonstrate things on my Mojave, it would look pretty similar to your High Sierra version of computer. So the next obvious question, thank you, Kara, for asking, is, well, should you be upgrading, right? So I'm gonna stop my since I'm done sharing that for the moment. So should I be upgrading? And for now, don't necessarily upgrade just because of this class. We'll talk more about the pros and cons and how old your computer is, how good it is or not, whether it's worth to upgrade. But for now, just hold on to whatever you have. And then when you see and learn more about the differences, you can make a choice whether to upgrade or not. If you have a newish computer, sure, why not upgrade? By now, Catalina's been out for almost a year, so it's very stable. What I never recommend is that you upgrade the moment it comes out, because there is a newer version. And I'm drawing a blank on the name of the newest version. Does anyone of you guys here know it? Have it? I'm drawing a blank. It's not the Channel Island. It's, oh, I'll come up with it. It'll pop into my head.
Catalina.
What's that?
Catalina.
No, Catalina is the latest version, but there's a new one that's about to debut.
Oh, sorry.
And it has another name. These are all, California landmarks and national parks and things like that. And I'll come up with it. Anyway, I can look it up. But the thing is, no, I would highly recommend not to switch into that one the moment it comes out. Wait 2 to 3 to 4 months for all of the bugs and problems to be ironed out by the people who are working with it before you would switch to that. Okay, so I don't recommend switching to the newest version. But Catalina is not newest anymore in the sense that it's come out last November. So it's almost a year old. So if you want to upgrade from Mojave to Catalina or from High Sierra to Catalina, yes, it's okay. There's a couple of caveats, and the reason Big Sur, thank you. Big Sur is the next one. Thank you, Susanna, for writing that in there. And that's the next one that's coming up, is the Big Sur. Now, it says that it was unveiled in June, but it isn't yet being pushed out. It's in beta mode. It's been in beta mode, meaning it's not being pushed out to the general public yet. Like, you don't have a lot of messages going, it's time for you to upgrade. It's time for you to upgrade, because there's still kind of, you know, in the stages. But come usually September, we're there, October, November, everyone's going to be told, oh, it's time for you to upgrade to Big Sur, right? So no one here should be having Big Sur yet. What you do have is either Catalina or Mojave or Sierra or High Sierra. That's more typical. So we're going to talk a bit more about whether to upgrade or not, but that's the kind of conversation that I have in my Mac classes. Yeah, I'm giving I'm heading towards the break now, so that's what I'm saying. But I'm not going to tackle that in this class in a big way. Here, I just need to know what operating system you're on, to know what version that you're going to have of photos. But to really talk about operating systems and whether to upgrade or not, and what the difference and all of that, I tackle that in the Mac level 1, Mac level 2 classes. And those, I'll tell you more about it, and you can sign up for them, and they're not starting for another couple of weeks. So you'll have time to sign up for those and learn a whole bunch about these things there. Okay. So for now, I just need us to take a break. Usually I try to give the break somewhere in the middle point. And we're going to take a longish break. When we're in person, I usually give us a shorter break, but on Zoom, people tend to get more exhausted, and then you need to go and get disconnected. You do not need to disconnect from the class. You can leave your class connected. I will mute everyone's sound, and you can turn off your video if you want, but there's no need. When you sit back again, you can just, you know, be back in class. And we're going to take 15 minutes. So we'll be back. It's 10:30. We'll be back at 10:45. There you go. That's all I had to say. I was going to say, you just don't need to disconnect. Just trundle off and do whatever you need to do. If you want to turn your video off, you're welcome to do that. And then when you come back, you turn your video on, and now you know you're all back. Okay? See you in 15 minutes at 10:45. All right, welcome back. If out in the background you can hear my dulcet tones, please trundle back to your computer and come back to class. I sometimes feel like I need to, ring the bell or something. Here, I'm gonna ring the little bell. Class is starting. Come on over. Let's keep going. All right. Here we go. I'm so glad. I'm gonna wait until one or two more people who are out there who were there before show up. Just wanted to say I'm so glad to see you all, and I'm glad to see new faces. This class is one that rarely gets new faces because most people who read the name of the class have no idea what it is and they don't sign up. So usually what I do is I teach my MAT classes, and there I get new people and I tell them about this class and then they join. But the schedule, the way it was set up this time, my MAT classes don't start till I think 3 weeks from now. So I had no idea who was going to sign up. So thank you for, finding it, everyone, because many of you found it because I email you because you've been my student before. But those of you who I did not ever meet, I am Triesha, for example, or Leon, I believe. Well, Owen and Becky, I met you through Photoshop, but the rest of you, see how few, I'm mentioning 4 people. Everyone else is people who know me from other classes who showed up. So so that's the only negative of this class, is that normally I like to have more people who have need this class, but because of the weird name it has, it's hard for people to know to take it. So I'm glad that it's an intimate group and that they allowed the class to go forward. Normally we need a few more people. Oh, here's, speaking about that, someone's joining us right now who hasn't been. So she's been in others of my classes, but not here. So, and then I got an email from someone saying that they were registered, but they didn't get it, who's also new. They didn't get the link, so they probably registered this morning. So we're gonna get 1 or 2 more people next class. But the reason I'm saying this is because if it ever happens to you, and I think I mentioned it, that you missed a class or had to leave early or had to come late, these classes are recorded. So I'm not sure if it's Joan or Joanne who's just joined us, but whenever you can hear me, can you please speak up to tell me that you can hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
There you go. Hi, and what's your name, Joan or Joanne?
Joanne.
Joanne, hi. I don't know yet because I have many Joanne students I might have met, but since I don't see you, do I know you or are you new to me?
I think this would be a new class, so.
Okay, great. Well, hi,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. I was just talking about how there's people that I don't know. Sometimes when I've seen you, I can see if you're in a class or another, but when I just see your name on screen, I can't tell. So thanks. Yay, nice to meet you. Welcome to class.
Meet you. Thank you. Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome. So I was actually talking about how, who's new to me, and boom, you popped in. So you must have had, your ears were tingling somewhere and you joined the class. Just so you know, in the future, our class does start at 9 a.m. But that said, I was mentioning that for people who come late or have to leave early, that I will be recording these classes for many reasons, equity reasons. There's all accessibility reasons. There's all these many different administrative reasons why we're recording these classes. But I want you guys to know that while the recording right now isn't optional, this is not going to be put in a public place. These recordings I will be put in such a way that they're only accessible to the people who have the link, which is only the people in this class, okay? And when the class is over, it takes about 4 or 5 hours for the whole thing to process, for the video to be uploaded, we upload it to YouTube, which immediately you might go, what do you mean private? YouTube isn't private. No, you can upload things to YouTube and still make them private. meaning no one can search for the video, say, oh, I want to be part of this class and find this person. You can't. None of that is searchable. It's a link that I will provide you in my handouts folder. And this is a prelude to showing you my handouts folder and giving you guys the handouts folder access. It's a link that that you guys will be able to click on and see the video to catch up with what you missed. But this is really, really important that you all need to understand. That is not in place of attending the class. So if you really, really can't attend the class, that day, the entire, 9 to 12, something is happening, you cannot come. Then you miss the class, that's okay. The video will be there for you to catch up. But the way non-credit classes are set up, we, the school, the college, is offering you the class for free. But the reason we can offer it for free is because we get reimbursed by the state for people who by list of who has attended that day's class, not just because you're registered in the course, but if you attended. So say that you don't come to class, but you listen to the recording, we don't get an apportionment. We don't get paid by the state for your attendance. And so we end up going into default even more than budget. So please, even if you can only attend for half an hour, the fact that you sign into the class during at some portion, then it shows as though you've attended, and then at least we can get reimbursed by the state for your attendance. And then if you need to catch up by watching parts of it on the video, then go ahead and do that. But don't just sit back and watch the videos and never attend. There's another reason for that. This class is part of a certificate. And if you are interested in taking the class because you just want to learn, then you don't care about the certificate. But if you do want to take the certificate, you do need to pass the class. So this class, believe it or not, is going to be graded. It's graded on a pass or no pass. And half of you could care less. You'll never even see your grades. You don't care if it's pass, no pass. But if you want to receive the certificate because you're trying to get a promotion at work or get a new job or things like that, which many of our classes are geared, this is part of the Career Skills Institute class, then you need to pass. And passing in this class depends highly on attendance, okay? So having attended the class, not attended the class, but watched the video, although it gives you the knowledge, A, doesn't give us the money to support these free classes, and B, doesn't give you enough participant hours to get a pass on the class. So again, if you don't care about the pass, no pass, then at least so that we get paid for your attendance. Even if all you do is sign in for a short time, right before you go to your appointment or right after you came home from your appointment or something like that, or even while you're in the waiting room for your appointment, sign in on your phone and listen in as long as you can, right? But I understand sometimes you just can't, in which case the recordings will be available. So I need to show you where those recordings are available. And I'm trying to set something up here. I'm noticing we just got 2 more people that joined today that I just got emails from that I did not have on the list. So I need to add them. So give me 1 minute. Well, I add them and then I'll show everyone all the handouts. That way everyone can reach them. If I don't do it this way, then some people won't be getting it. And it's really confusing when half the people have it and half don't. So give me 1 second. I wasn't aware that 2 people joined this morning. What's the code? It's 42183. 42183, here we go. And I'm going to copy that link. Okay. I have those 2 people. Viewers. Okay, and then when I go to show you the handouts, everyone who's here should have access to it. Okay, So Carol wants to know, where do we find the grades? Well, that's why I say it doesn't matter too much because you don't have to see the grades. But if you're interested in knowing, there's two ways. A, you can ask me at the end of class and I'll tell you if you passed or didn't pass. And as I said, attendance is a big part. Not like knowing everything and doing everything right, but asking questions, participating. And so if you're in class, but your screen is off and I call your name and ask you questions to say yes, no, maybe, all the answers, and you never answer, then I don't know whether you're just watching, you know, the soap opera on the left and the thing is left on. So that's not attendance. For attendance, I need you to be responding with the yes, no's, maybes. You don't necessarily need to have your camera on, but I need to be able to say, hey, how about this for you? And I hear a little yeah, yes or no back, or a little chat, right? So then I'll know you're there. And then asking me questions, sharing your screen when things aren't working, that would be participation. So if I see that you're participating and you're learning and you're progressing, that's a pass. Some of you will have know much more than others when you're done, but just being in the class, progressing, going from A to B, and for some people from A to Z, that's attendance and participation. That's a pass. It's not being available for the class. That's a no pass. So we don't take exams. It's just a practical seeing where you're at. And now if you're completely clueless by the end of the class, which I do hope you're not, given that hope I'm a good teacher, and you really don't know how to do anything by the end of the class at all, then that would be a no pass if you're completely as good as when we started. So that's how it works. You basically have to have about a C-ish worth of knowledge. Like if you got an A, B, or C, if you learned about as much as a C, you've passed the class. Okay, that's the lay person's answer to that. If you truly are like at a D level, no pass. Okay. And in real life, we walk around and we see people doing the work, and we can tell where you're completely at a D or you're at a C or B or an A. But in this mode, I'm not walking around behind you seeing what you're doing. So you need to share your screen with me, ask me questions, let me know where you're at when I say, was everyone here? Did you create your new album? Did you this, did you do that? That's how I know whether you're a pass or a no pass kind of person. That's why participation is truly important. And then the other place you get them is if you go into your registration, your pipeline, you can go into your registered courses and you can see the bill of attendance, and that'll give you your pass, no pass grades. If not, ask me, ask Emma, or go into your pipeline to find whether you passed or didn't pass the class. Okay. And oh, well, thank you guys for saying I'm good teacher. I do think I am, and I love teaching, so thank you. Thanks for all the nice words. Okay. Now, time to show you those mythical handouts that I'm talking about. And then we're gonna launch some actual work in the photos program. So I'm gonna show you the handouts over here. At the end of this class, usually the first day I get new people who join. So at the end of the class, when I have a fuller roster, I'm going to be sending you an email. So keep your eyes out for an email. I will be sending the email both to your personal and your pipeline email addresses because I need to make sure you get this email. So we've been given permission for the college to access you both ways. A lot of people right now at home, they don't remember how to access their pipeline emails and stuff. And so we can email you to give you this information. And that is, I will tell you how to access the handouts. I will give you a handout in your email to remind you after, even though we're going to do it all together now, I'm going to still send you a handout telling you how to do it. And I'll attach a video link to a recording where I explained in a video how to get to it. Okay. So over the summer, people still had a hard time doing it. So I recorded a whole little video demonstrating step by step how to get in to our handouts. So if you forget after today's practice, then you will get an email with a handout, step-by-step little photos of this procedure, or B, a video of this procedure so that you can all know how to get to the handouts. And why that's important is because yes, there's lots of important information in my handouts, links to good stuff. And there's the links to the recordings, and there's the link to how to link to this class and stuff like that. All right. So let me show you how we're going to do this. Now, this is the time when it's not just a show, it's a show and tell. Show and tell is a little pony show of mine. This is a do, a show and do, meaning you guys have to do this, okay? So when I share my screen next is when we're gonna get this whole like, well, but I can't do it. My screen is filling up. How do you want me to do it when you're doing it, right? So the only people who have the excuse is people like Triesha, who is on an iPad. Oh, I haven't checked in with you. Joanne. Oh, remind me again, was it Joanne or Joe? Joanne?
Oh, Joanne, I have a laptop.
You're in a laptop. Okay, good. So by the way, Joanne, can you add to the name until I figure out in the roster your name? I need to see your last name. So if you hover over the little box that has your video or your name, it'll come up with 3 little dots.
sure.
If you click on those 3 dots, you can rename yourself and add your last name. Later, I'll figure out that Joanne is this person, but at first, when I don't know you, I need to have your first and last name on that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right, so now I'm about to share my video, and for everyone except for Triesha, you need to be able to see both my video and to do the work, okay? So, so this is when you need to be able to disconnect your Zoom from its moorings, and you need to be able to see just the, I'm trying to show you, I have a screenshot, hold on. Because the one thing that does not share, the one thing, it's so weird, but the one thing that doesn't share well is Zoom. If I share my screen, you don't see my Zoom screen. So I'm going to share an image now that is not my Zoom screen, but is a photograph of what this is supposed to look like. If you only have one screen, right? If you only have one screen and you do not have another iPad or a second monitor or something, then this image that I'm showing you right now, which is like a photo within a photo, it's a still photo. It's not my computer, it's someone else's. But this is how you need to set it up, because half of your screen, as you can see this half over here, you see how it's weird. Instead of using as the entire screen, there's only half. It's because this half is the actual Zoom setting. Yeah, this here on the left is the actual person doing the work, and this over here, the place where you actually see, oh, there's my Yuri joining us. She's the one that over the break I discovered she was in class that didn't have the list. Okay, so on this area that I'm kind of moving my mouse around, this area that looks empty, that's where this person had Zoom, watching me tell them what to do. And then on the left side was actually doing it. So although I can't show you any better than this, this is what your screen needs to look like. You need to have half of it filled with you doing the work. You're going to open Google. We're going to get to our handouts. And the other half has to be the Zoom screen. So you need to make your Zoom screen be kind of, if it fills your screen, you need to grab the handle and scooch it so that it fills up sideways. And then on this other half, you'll open your own browser and you'll do your work. Does that make sense? On half the screen, you'll be seeing me. This is the Zoom. And then the other half, you'll be doing your work and you'll have things parallel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop that share. So if that doesn't work comfortably for you, there's another plan, which would be a bit more like what you need to do on iPad, which is you would have to switch from one program to the other. So, but first, let's see how this works. Now, if you have your computer and you have a laptop and you also have a TV, it's really cheap to go and buy a cable that connects your laptop to your TV. And then next thing you know, you have your computer is one screen and your computer and your TV is another screen. And then you can have Zoom on the TV and you can do the work on the computer, right? So I can help you figure out what you need to do to connect your TV. Or you can go to a thrift store and buy a cheap used monitor and set it up next to your laptop and connect with another little cable, and that's your second monitor. It's not hard or complicated to get a second monitor. Now, if you want to buy an expensive monitor and yada yada, you'll spend some money, but you don't have to. Just to have another option to see, you don't need to have a whole, you know, $600 machine. You just need a second something, and that could be a second-hand monitor or your existing TV. So I'm not going to tell you how to do that right now, but if that's something you need to know, ask me, and after class or in between, I can help set up, because it looks like we're going to be doing Zoom classes for quite a while. So setting yourself up with a second device instead of sharing your little laptop screen is probably a really good idea. Marcia, yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Thank you. I did that for it in one of our previous classes, but the image that I had on my TV was the exact same image on my computer. But you're saying that, okay.
There's a way in your, so a quick answer, but then stay after class and I can give you a bit of a bigger answer. In your settings, you can choose your monitor to mirror your computer, so your two monitors show the same thing, or to act as a second monitor, and it's like you have more space, like you added a room to your house, right? Versus if you're seeing exactly the same thing, then it's set up to mirror. So you need to go into your system preferences and go to the displays, and that should be the place to fix it. But I can show you that, but I'll show it to after class because it doesn't really necessarily refer to this course. But I do want you guys to be successful at taking these classes. Marcia's been taking quite a few. So I'll help you set that up, okay? All right, so Mayuri, hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for joining us. I didn't have you in the roster. That's why it seems you didn't get the email. Did you join today or last night? Or
No,
you joined today?
no, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I'll add you to the roster and I'll send you the invite so you have the official invite too. But I'm glad I saw your email and that you joined us. And I see that you're joining us with 2 devices. So for those, she's been in my classes before, so she knows this already. But look, guys, if you do have 2 devices, not 2 monitors on one device, but 2 actual devices, then you need to join the Zoom meeting from both. One to see me and one to be ready to share with me whenever it is that I need to see what you're doing, okay? So that I can help you through whatever you're stuck with. All right, so I'm about to start sharing something that you need to do. This is now stop listening to me pitter patter and chit chat, but actually do it. So I need you to open a browser, any browser, whatever you prefer. If you're in a Mac, many times people use a Safari, but you might be also a Chrome user or a Firefox user. It does not matter which browser. Open a browser. And so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you to our handouts. Okay. So I'm going to share this screen right here. And I'm actually going to get rid of that. Okay, so if you see me giving you my back, it's because the screen is over there and the webcam is over here. That's okay. All right, so right now I'm on a screen that has, just make sure you're seeing the right thing, yeah, that has nothing on it. So we're gonna open a new window. I have a Safari, so I'm gonna go ahead and open a new window on Safari. You could be on Chrome, you could be on, it does not matter where you're at. But what you need to do is you need to enter, you need to go to SBCC, so sbcc.edu. And whenever I do this, I'm gonna be writing in the chat. I'm writing the addresses of how to get to places. And I'm actually gonna shift, instead of sharing my whole screen, let me just share only this window so you see things a little bit bigger. There you go. So now you don't have to see all the surrounding stuff. You're just seeing the window that I'm sharing. Okay, so, so go ahead and here on the left side, you're gonna click on the word pipeline. Now, before I continue, because what I'm doing isn't necessarily hard, but what is hard sometimes is for you guys, if this is the first time you're doing this, to figure out that watching me and doing it. So how's it working? Does anyone need more support? Have you been able to push me sideways to see me and then have your own browser next door and go to SBCC so that you're parallel to what I'm doing. You're doing it yourself. And Triesha, you have to pretty much go to the home button and kind of double click on your home button to open up your browser and then type in the browser sbcc.edu, okay? So that you can switch to that, and then you know how to switch from app to app on an iPad? Okay, so she's dropped out, so she might be trying to open her browser, but she's going to be having to switch back and forth. But everyone else, I believe you're all on, yeah, you're all on computers. Okay. So yes.
So I've got my Safari open, but
Mhm.
it's got all those bookmarks on the left. And so how do I get rid of all those bookmarks? Because I'm not seeing the magnifying glass and the P and
You
all.
don't have space. Okay, so do you see up here in the top left, do you see my, let me put, I'm trying to put a little thing called a spotlight on my mouse, which isn't very good, but it's better than nothing. Here you go. So you see my mouse now? Up here at the top left, if you have Safari,
Yeah.
if you see these three little colored buttons, the back and forth, and then there's that icon. If you click that, it opens up your bookmarks, and you click it again, it closes your bookmark.
Aha.
And that gives you a little bit more real estate.
Okay, thank you. So now what do I do? Because I missed it. Those three horizontal lines or the P?
Now, in this center of your screen of the search, you need to write sbcc.edu and hit the enter or return, and then you go straight to this page.
Right, and then now what?
Okay, so now before I continue, I kind of stopped here to make sure. Is anyone else who has questions about this, kind of how to set up your screen to go half and half? If you haven't taken a computer applications hands-on class, let me see, how do you shrink your Safari? How do you shrink your browser? Shrink, I'm assuming you mean, and let me actually share my entire, I said that I was going to share only the window, but let me change to this window. So here's my browser in my screen, right? And if it, see how it's filling my entire screen. So one way is you grab with your mouse, you go to the edge of that, and you click and you drag it so that it fills half of your screen, okay? And then if the other half is Zoom, then you have to do the same thing. You have to grab your Zoom screen and make half of it, okay? And so then you'll end up with half of your screen with Zoom, which I cannot share and show you. It's very frustrating that the only thing I cannot ever demo for you is my Zoom windows. But over here, you should have your Zoom window. Now, the only caveat is, what if you went full screen? If at some point you went full screen and your screen is in full screen mode, which is like kind of like that, see how it's filling my screen right now? If that's what you're seeing with Zoom or with your browser, you need to hit the escape key. The escape key, if you go to your keyboard, is the top leftmost key of them all, ESC. Hit the escape key. And see how it kind of disconnects from its background, and then it becomes a window that you can just grab from the corner, from the side, put your mouse until you see the double-headed arrow, and then drag halfway. And if you do that to Zoom, it also disconnects from its edges, and then you move that into the and fill your other half of your screen, and then you end up with two pieces. Okay, so Marsha, I see that you got it. Anyone else who needs more support in getting both of your screens available? One with me with Zoom and the other one with your own browser? This is the time to ask. No, I feel like I hear someone speaking, but I don't. Okay, so Triesha, you have your hand up? Is that?
Yes, I don't know how to do it on the iPad.
Oh, yeah, on an iPad you can't, and I was trying to talk to you before when you went blank. You're gonna have to switch from the iPad, from Zoom to a browser, from Zoom to a browser. What browser do you use on your iPad?
Safari.
Safari, okay. So you know how on the button, the home button, if you hold that and double click on it, it gives you the choice to switch from app to app?
Yes.
Okay, so you basically have to watch me do it, then switch to Safari, type in sbcc.edu, then switch back to look what I'm doing, then double click and switch back to Safari and hit the pipeline. You know what I mean? You're going to have to go back and forth to do this. You can keep hearing me and I can keep hearing you because it's still open. But you need to switch that way. Does that make sense?
I'm not seeing the pipeline page that you had up on your screen.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to pipeline yet. Right now, did you type sbcc.edu?
I have pipeline.sbcc.edu.
Okay. All right, I didn't take you there. I took to SBCC. So
Okay.
for those of you who typed pipeline.sbcc.edu, then you're already one step ahead. So right now, for those of you who went to just sbcc.edu, you need to go here to the far left to this P, which is a big old P for pipeline, and click on it. And that brings you to this page. Now this page is, if you just had typed pipeline.sbcc.edu, you would land directly on this page. So are you in an equivalent of this page, Triesha?
Yes.
Okay, good. So in this page, you need to now type your username and password. And the only way to access the handouts is by typing your username and password. So if you do not know it, you need to urgently after class contact Emma, and I can tell you how to reach her. But for any questions like that, she can help you reset and help you figure out how to get your pipeline username and password. And so then we're going to log in. Okay, now remember, we're doing this in order to access your handouts. So every time you access handouts, you have to go to sbcc.edu, enter pipeline username and password. Once you're here, everyone, I need to keep a track on where people are. So if you got here, I want you to give me a little yes marking. And the reason I have you do that too is because I need to see that for something simple-ish like this, that you can still see the participants button and know how to do yes or no or raise hands, even when we're sharing. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of little yeses. Please give me your yeses. And if you don't know what I'm talking about or you can't see how to get there, then let me know. Because now that you've got Zoom and your browser and me sharing my screens, things do get a little bit more confusing. So if I don't see a yes mark, I'm going to start asking you one by one how to help you. So Joanne, you didn't hear this part. Maybe you do know because you might have already participated in Zoom classes before or not. But in order to get to this that I'm talking about, you need to click on your participants button that's on the bottom panel where you mute and your stop video. There's a button called participants. So click on that once and it turns off. Every time you click, turns on and off. Every time you click, goes on and off. When you have it on, you'll see a list of participants, but most importantly, at the bottom of that panel, you'll see a little blue hand, a yes, a no, okay? So that's where I need to see you marking a yes if you know and you found what I'm talking about. Okay, so Annette, Mayuri, Marsha, I need everyone to mark it because I'm mainly checking to know whether you can mark it. Yolanda, mine's not exactly your same, but I think you're there. Yolanda, yes, you marked me the yes. So yeah, you're not exactly like mine. That's true. You won't see exactly what you're seeing here, but it's near enough. Who else? Annette,
It
where
says
are
that
you?
I cannot start screen share while the other participant is
Yeah.
sharing.
Yes, I don't want you to start your screen share. I'm sharing and we can't share more than one. So
Yeah.
all I need to do is to know whether you've been able to move, you know, Zoom kind of to one side and you have a browser on the other one. Yes?
Okay, got it.
Okay, good. All right, guys. Marianne, how are you doing with that? And I'm asking only the people who haven't given me a yay. So for me not to ask you personally, give me a little green yay. And then I'm testing two things. One, that your Zoom is set up correctly and stuff. And two, that you can answer yes or no for when I have a more deep and important question. So I want to see little yeses everywhere. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move forward. All right. So when you're in here, This seems to be taking long, but it's just normally a couple of clicks. It's just that I'm checking in with you guys. So when you're in here, on the top left of your pipeline screen, you see home, student, non-credit, and you will not see faculty, employee, because you're not either of those. You would see student, non-credit. Now, if any one of you has also been a student ever of a credit campus, then you will not see student, non-credit. You will see credit, even if it was a long time ago and you only took one credit class, you're labeled as credit, in which case the word would just say student. Okay, so you should either see the word student or student non-credit, right? So if you see student non-credit, just click on that right there, and it'll take you to this screen. And I need my spotlight again before I keep going. Versus if what you see instead is the, trying to move this out of the way, sorry. Or if you see the word only student, then to get to this screen, you need to go to something equivalent to student resources like that. And then you'll end up in the same space. Okay. Now, if you have a small screen, so say your screen is even smaller than this, then you need to be able to scroll to the side, okay? Because over here is what we need. If you have a bigger screen, then you don't need to scroll to the side. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for, in the student non-credit pad on the far right, I want you to find your Google Drive. Now this is your pipeline account. By the way, up here you can get your pipeline email. Here you can register for courses. Some of you guys totally know this page and others really don't use it a lot. So I'm not going to teach you the whole course, but this is your pipeline account. The important thing is that you can access Google Drive over here. That is where the handouts are. And the other important thing for you later is that I do give you, in my handouts, I provide you some links to some tutorials that exist in LinkedIn Learning. And then you go, well, where is LinkedIn Learning? Well, there you go. 2 steps down, there you see LinkedIn Learning, okay? So this is where you'd go to view those videos. And I have also a video on how to access and set up your LinkedIn Learning account recorded, and I also put it in your handouts. I believe it's in there already. I changed the handouts folder. Those of you who've been accessing it forever, it's not where it was up until a few weeks ago in summer. It's not in your shared with me. And I'm saying that because a few of you guys have taken, like, for the last 2 years, I've been putting all of my handouts under the shared with me. And today, as of fall, I've inaugurated a new spot for it. So pay attention. So click on Google Drive. On your Google Drive, that's what we want now. And it'll switch over to Google Drive. 100% sure that you will not see the same thing I have in here, because now you're entering your own personal Google Drive. Some of you, it will be empty and it'll say, oh, welcome to Google Drive. You didn't even know I existed and now you're using me, right? And for others, you will already have stuff in there. So I have a ton of stuff in here and that's why things are showing up this way. But I am pretty sure that most of you don't have a lot of stuff in here. All that matters is that here on the left, you say Google Drive, new, priority, my drives, shared drives. This, all of us would have. What's different is it's in here. It's like you're entering my house and you're in your own house, and what we have is different things in our homes, right? So I'm gonna clear everyone there and give me a little blue raised hand if you're in your Google Drive. If you made it to your Google Drive, give me a blue raised hand. All right. Okay. If you're not there, you don't know how to get there, or you got lost, this is the time to speak up.
I got
By
lost.
the way, who was that again? Please speak up.
Create.
Triesha. Okay. So in your Safari, were you able to hit student drive, student and Google Drive?
Oh, I see it now at the top on my screen.
Yeah, since your screen shows things smaller, you have to scroll around a bit. You see this? Go ahead. It's funny because when you're on a pad, you'll see her touching the screen because she needs to touch a screen, but you know, to show us, but that's okay.
No, I didn't find it. I'm confused going back and forth from Zoom
Yeah, it is a
to
bit confusing.
Safari.
But in Safari, did you manage to go into your pipeline account?
I'm in my pipeline account.
Okay. Do you see your student non-credit tab?
Yes, touch that.
Okay. So then if you scroll probably
See it.
down,
I
you
see
should
it now.
find the resources. You found it? Okay,
I
good.
found Google Drive.
It's on Google Drive. Cool. I'll get you all there, you guys.
Thank
We'll get
you.
there. And then by the time when you're there, then it's up, but the first time being able to access your resources, I will handhold you until you're there. I really want you to understand that asking questions now is good. It's not like, oh, well, everyone else is there and not me, so I won't ask. What happens is that then you fall so behind that A, you drop the class, B, you feel frustrated that, oh, this isn't for me, I won't take any more Zoom classes, I don't understand anything. Or C, you do hang on and stay, but in about 10 minutes you go, well, I'm not there, and then I have to spend 10 minutes to catch you up. So if right now you're not there, right now is the time to ask, because you're only one step behind and non-step 10 steps behind. Does that make sense? I want you to understand that I want this through the entire course. The moment you're not where I'm at and you don't see it, that's the time to act. So see, with only 30 seconds of talk, Triesha found it. If she had waited, 20 more minutes, she would have gone, poof, this class is no good for me, and not come anymore. And I don't want any of you guys to do that. I want you to ask me in the moment and help me catch you up in the moment. Okay? Promise me that? Yes?
Yeah.
Hold your hand to your heart and tell me I will do that. Speak up when you don't get it. That's the
Okay.
moment to ask. All right. So now one more time. Is anyone not in their own Google Drive? You're on your own Google Drive? Yay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for promise. Okay, so now in your own Google Drive, over here to the left, it says new priority, my drive, shared drives. That's the key place. Go to your shared drives. Click on shared drives. I have shared my drive with you. In the past, we used to go to a shared folder. That was harder to handle, the ins and outs. With the shared drives, I have a bit more control over the material. So that's why I put it in shared drives. Now, when you click on shared drives, I have a ton of shared drives. See, boom. But you guys, if you're in only one of my classes, you probably only see one little box, and it's this one, and it's called iLife shared drive. Do you see that? Do y'all see an iLife shared drive?
No.
Lots of no's. Okay, that's not good.
Yeah,
No.
we don't have that one. We just have the Photoshop one from the other class.
Huh.
Right.
Well,
So,
that's weird. Since everyone said no, let me go see what's happening. So everyone ignore this for a minute. I need to go see what's happening with my shared drive, because I did share it. Manage members. I shared it with this group, and this group is you guys. No, it's not. This is not you guys. Oh, look at that. 42183. What's the number of this class? 42183. But it's different members. So they've used the same. Yeah, because you were probably part of this class. Oh, okay, that's not good. What course is this? This is 42183, 2020, 30. So maybe they reused the code. See these names here? These are not you guys. This is your group, but these are not you guys. That's a problem. Let me go find out. Let me go to my Google Groups. Give me a sec while I figure out how come you guys are on the right CRN, but you're not.
So on my thing, it says download to get drive for the desktop. Download it.
No, please don't wait, don't. 42183, live in the iLife, and 421 live in the iLife. June 15th, September 3rd. I probably got this group in there. I'm not this group. But it's the same number. So how are we going to distinguish one from the other? How interesting. And is this you guys? Let me see. No, 24 numbers, that's the other one. No, see, this is your other. So some of you are here, Charlene, some of you are here from another class, but this is not the group. Yolanda should see it because you're in that group. So that's that one. How about this one? This one should be you guys. No, this is not you guys either, but this is the right. Oh, this is very frustrating. This is 42182. 42183. 42183 over here. Wow, I've never had this problem. Here you go. These are you guys. These are you guys. Okay. So I need to get this group to be the one that's in my shared drive. So I need to eliminate this group. Okay, I'm not sure how to eliminate that group, but let's see if I can get you guys. I don't think this is it. It's not the Luminous Community. But this is the old one that I tried, and that's what got you. Sorry guys, this has never happened to me, that a course has the same area. These are people from last year's.
I got it.
Is it there now?
Yes.
All right, so now I'm sharing with both. I don't know how to eliminate the other groups, but I did add you guys. Okay, so did my thing pop in now? Do you see now?
Yes.
I like your drive.
Just popped in.
Okay, so phew. All right, so thank you for sitting through that while I figured out. There's another class with the exact same area CRN from a whole year ago that just got added to this drive, but I don't care.
So
if
to be
you have
honest,
it, but I do want you guys to have it. What's up?
so I clicked share drive and a window opened up saying, get started with shared drives, create a shared space, guide me or got it. I've never gone down this road before, so.
Okay, so if you just never have used shared drives and you got that little thing, you can just say, got it, thanks, or click an X and close that window. Because I don't need you to be making shared folders. All I need you to do is to click on the one that I gave you, which is this one. And if you do not see it, okay, so now I'm clearing all my answers. And I know, Yolanda, you're raising your hand, so give me a sec. Everyone, if you do not see the iLife shared drive, then give me a no. And if you see it, give me a yes. Okay? Yes, Yolanda?
I think I got lost again because I had clicked on that iLife shared drive, and then what came out is not like yours, but what came out is like quick access, Zoom class.
Yeah, so I haven't shown you yet. I haven't clicked on it yet. So here's what you should see, but once you open it up, you should be seeing this kind of stuff. This is kind of what you should be seeing inside it. Okay. So, but I hadn't taken people into it yet. I was just trying to make sure that you had the shared drive. Those of you who have the shared drive, give me a yes. And then if you double click on that iLife shared drive, you'll be seeing some handouts. But if you don't have the shared drive, I need to make sure that I can get you there. Okay, so the only one who's saying no at this point is Marianne, and then there's people who are not answering yet. It would seem that most of you guys are seeing it.
Mine keeps, I get on here, I'm using my iPad, and
Marianne,
then it goes to.
Marianne, wait. You have sound on two devices, and so we're all getting that feedback.
I'm sorry.
You need to turn the sound off on one of your devices. And it's not about muting it, but going to that little arrow that I told you earlier next to the audio and leave from your computer, maybe leave the sound on your iPad. Okay. And then on your computer, you can go to the little arrow next to mute and then say, leave computer audio from your computer that way, and then have the sound on only one of them. But now you need to turn the sound on your iPad because you did that, but then I have to hear you through your iPad. So go turn the sound on. I need the sound on one of them. What? It's not about mute or not.
Is that
mute.
it?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
You got it. All right.
I went on to our site, and then what happened is it switched to your window on here.
On an iPad?
Yeah.
What,
That's what
you in the browser or?
I just went to on Safari. I just went to SBU. Yeah.
SBCC.edu, yeah.
sbcc.edu. I better start over, I guess.
Well, did you get all the way to the shared drive?
Yeah. And I
So when
clicked
you
on
get-
that, and then I had the same thing as you did. And
Well-
now I have the same thing as you have back here too, but I don't know if it's on mine or on yours.
It's on yours. If you went
Okay.
and clicked on followed the process, right? And
I did.
finally got to the iLife shared drive, it is technically mine. It's like I've invited you into my house. It's my folder, and I've just opened my doors and let you all in. So you're seeing now in there exactly the same thing I'm seeing. Okay, it's
Right.
my drive.
Okay.
I put stuff in there,
All right.
and I've shared it with you guys. So you guys have all been welcome to my backyard. Because,
We all have the same
social
thing you do.
distancing. So you're all in
Got
the
it.
backyard, and you're all 6 feet apart, but you're in my home, and I have these gifts that I have for you, which are all these handouts and all these videos and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
You're in my drive. I've allowed you in. I've just invited you in, and that's why you're seeing exactly the same thing as
Okay.
me, because you're in my
Okay.
place right now. So thanks for asking that. That way you understand what this means. You can't take things in and out of here, like delete them or add them, but you can view them or download them or print them, okay?
Okay.
You won't be able to put your own stuff in here because it's my home.
Gotcha.
But you can see them. So in this case, for example, I have a handout here. A little video is how to download files from your shared drive, okay? So this here is a video that tells you exactly the steps that I just told you.
Okay.
How to access your handouts. So if you scroll from the top, this here, ignore it. This is the last few things I did today, but the quick access is a bit confusing because those things there are a bit confusing. So scroll down a little bit, and then it'll say initial download, which is the file that I want you guys to use in a bit. And then you have here, but we'll get to that next week. And then here you have accommodate if you have any issues, disabilities, listening devices, things that you need, you would fill out this form. So we put that for everyone. This is today's homework. I'm going to have you guys look into this today. How to access the LinkedIn Learning. It's a video where I'll tell you how to set up your LinkedIn Learning, how to find your Mac OS. For example, we already did this today, how to find your Mac OS. So say that you want to read this little handout, right? So you double click on it, and then it's like how to find your Mac OS and other info. And I showed you that little apple about this Mac, and I showed you how to read this, okay? So see how we just did this today in class? There's a bit more here than what we did in class. We just did the 2 steps because all I need for this class is this one thing. But this is a handout in order to help you. But once you're done reading it, well, if it's really important and you want it in your computer, you want to download it, you can download it. But if you just wanted to read it, just read it like that, and then see this little arrow, and this arrow appears when you move your mouse, otherwise it disappears. And then you click on back and you're back to the main folder because that's it. I don't need to download it. I'm done with that one. How to access the handouts. Ooh, cool, let me see. So I double click on that. And how to access your handouts, it basically tells you go to SBCCU, go to Pipeline, click on your student or student on credit tab, click on Google Drive, click on shared drives, and here you are, okay? And then how to get to LinkedIn is there. So this is a little handout that I'm gonna email you because the problem of having it in here is that if you forgot how to get here, it's no use. So I will email you this one handout so that worst case scenario, you can get back in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
After class, you'll get an email with this handout.
Thank you,
So we'll do the
Deanna.
steps. What's that?
So thank you, Deanna.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's one of those circular. You're supposed to get in here to get instructions on how to get in here, right? So, And then this is exactly the same thing, but in video format. So if you click on this video, if you click on this guy, so I'll just double click on that. It takes you in here, and then you can play the video. And it's me telling you the same stuff I'm telling you right now, but it's a recording I made of myself. So I'm gonna back off, because on Zoom, this is gonna take up a lot of my, see? I shouldn't have gone here because it's Zoom. It's going to take all my power. I got stuck. Come on. I'm going to have to access this again for a second. Sorry. Because I got stuck there because I'm already sharing 2 Zoom screens and trying to play a video. It's not happening. So let me back up in there again. But you guys can do it. You can click on that and it'll take you to the video of how to. But after Zoom, after the class is over. Class is almost over. Oh, Jesus, class is over. Is it 11:41?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got a few more minutes. Time flies when you're having fun, right? Okay. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of other stuff in here. iCloud library versus my photos. I'm going to have you guys read some of this as homework because I want you to have a better idea of the iCloud and stuff for next week, because I'm going to be asking some pretty crucial questions about your accounts and stuff like that. This handout here, photos info. Remember Carol said, and some people said, well, how do I find more about the programs? If you double click into this list, I have just links in here. I have links in here that will tell you into more photos info, more how to set up and use the iPhotos, the iCloud photos, which I will explain in detail next week, but you can begin to read something about it, how to use photos on the Mac, a photos user guide for Catalina, photos tech support if something's not working. So these are really lots of good stuff. And then this is LinkedIn Learning video tutorials. Remember I pointed you to how to get to LinkedIn Learning? If you go to in LinkedIn Learning, there's a how to use photos for Mac OS. There's Catalina and one how to use for Mac Mojave. So there's some essential training for Mac OS and for iCloud. So these are all really useful links. When you're in this place, say that I were to say, well, let's go to the first thing, general photos, right? So I click on that one and you click on it again and it'll take you to the photos from macOS. This is just the general photos info, okay, from Apple. But there's some stuff in here that might be useful for you. So say that you want to learn more about how to edit.
How to get to LinkedInLearning.com tutorials.
Someone started my video. So if you're playing my video, go ahead and stop it, because that voice is my video telling you. Yeah, stop my video. Someone in my handouts clicked on the video of how to get to that link, and do that after class. Class is almost over. Okay, so I'm just showing you how to use these things or how to use it for a certain thing. Okay, so now when you do get to this link though, you're outside, you're in a folder, but you're outside of the shared drive. So see how here I open this in another tab? You have to go back. So up here, go back to the iDrive to find the rest. Right, the last few that I want to show you, you actually don't need this VDI one. So I'm gonna get rid of this one from you guys because that's not appropriate for your class. So hold on, I don't wanna confuse you guys. How to transfer your files from Android. For those 2 of you who had Androids, Owen and Leon, this handout is for you. Transfer files from an Android to a Mac computer. So there's some information there, but we'll talk more about it. But there it is, that's for you guys. And then this is the important ones. Zoom class recording links. At the end of today, this is today's date, September 9th, I'm going to click in here, I'm going to add a link. And it takes, as I said, about 8 hours. So by the end of today, if you come to this handout, by the end of today, there should be a link here that you click, and that'll be the recording of this entire day's class, okay? So that you can go, oh, somewhere in the middle she talked about this, somewhere in the, it's not edited, it's just the whole class. but you can jump around and go to, you know, you're in the last hour of the class, I spoke about some and so, so you forward the last hour and find where I spoke about that thing. Okay, so that's where it'll be. And if you miss the class, then you click on it and you sit through the whole thing, coffee cup in hand or whatever you need to survive. Okay, all right, so this is that Zoom training. There's more information here. I only showed you a couple of screens, but if you want to read more about this to learn better about how to handle your your Zoom. So lots of stuff in here. I'm going to scroll back up to the second one that I said was a homework for today. So I'm going to double click on that one. And oh, I don't have the Catalina's version. I might need to update this homework. This is how it looks for anyone who has Mojave and older. And it's not for people who have Catalina. So ignore this. I'll update this and then I'll send you an email about what I want you guys to do. So ignore this one. I'm gonna actually delete it because I don't want you guys to get confused. I need to set up one that has information for both Catalina and Mojave. And when I say Mojave, at this point, it's the same. Those settings are the same for Mojave, Sierra, High Sierra, all the versions that you all said has one set of instructions, and then Catalina will have a second set of instructions because there's a shift in the system preferences and how the iCloud looks. So I'll reset that. I have it set up for one of my classes in both versions, and so I'll just set it up again and then I'll send you that info.
How about the iOS?
What's that?
Triesha, how about the iOS? What do I?
I have also a handout on how to get to the settings for the iOS, but I have it in my Mac classes. So I'm going to transfer from my Mac classes into here, and then you'll find it in here. Here's the deal. I'm not going to teach you about system preferences. I'm not going to teach you about your settings. That I teach in the Mac classes. Here, I'm just going to teach you about enough about the system settings and preferences just to deal with how to handle photos, okay? So if you need to learn more about all of that, you need to take my Mac classes, ask me later, there's time to sign up for them. But in the this class, you need to know how your system settings are with respect to the Photos program and your iCloud photos. So that's what we're going to start. Now you might be going, oh wait, we never even opened the Photos program. It's almost the end of today's class. Well, we needed all this set up first, okay? We needed to understand how to get to all of this. Marianne, can you turn the sound?
Is that me?
Yeah.
No.
One or the other ones of yours is sound.
I'm
when you
not
have to divide it, sometimes it's hard. Turn the sound off on.
No.
No. For now, just turn the sound on both, just so I can finish talking. Okay. Now I'm getting the double. There we go.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
And go and turn the sound off on your iPad, and let's see if that.
I don't even have. Wait.
Okay, well, you actually disconnected, which is fine from the iPad.
Yeah.
Now the sound is fine. Okay, great. So.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. That's why I was explaining it. Okay, so now for those of you who have not, I just want to be clear that what I want you guys to do for next week, I will send you an email about this, but I want you guys to check out your system settings on the iPads or phones that you might use, and your system preferences on the Mac. It's those three that need to be in sync, okay? So even if you're taking the class on a Mac, you probably have a phone. Even if you have a Mac, some of you have an iPad and a phone. Some of you have only a phone and an iPad. So whatever combination of that trio that you have, all three of them need to coincide in the settings for them to work as a unit. So on the Mac or PC, it's the system preferences that you need to open, okay? And on the iPad or the phone, it's the settings, and the icon looks the same. It's the little gears icon, and it looks identical one to the other, okay? And so this is what the system settings for Mojave looks like versus, I can show you the system, I can share my screen for the system settings on Catalina, which looks a little bit different. System settings on Catalina, I'm going to switch my share, but this is what matters. For those of you who have Mojave, which about 5 or 6 of you, Mojave or High Sierra, your system preferences looks like this, and you need to go down here to the word iCloud, down here to the word iCloud, click on that, and this is what you need to keep to find. Okay, so this window is the one I want to get to. So once again, on Mojave, High Sierra, Sierra, Yosemite, you go to your system preferences. I'm going to hide what's behind because it's getting confusing to show you both. So there, it's pretty clear. You need to see just this screen, and this is what it looks like for an older version. At the top, there's like 3 different bands of color. Please don't have the sound on in the kitchen. Santi? Yeah. Sound off, please. Sorry, lots of noise in the kitchen. So this is what you need to do. Click on iCloud and you'll be here. That's good. That's the one that I need you to be in. We need to learn about this, and we need to find out what is happening with my photos right there. What kind? Do I have a check mark? Do I have a minus? Do I have nothing? But this is truly, truly, truly crucial. And if, please listen, if you haven't heard anything else this entire day, do not, please do not change that setting. Okay? Do not turn it either on or off. Do not click on that. Do not unclick that. Promise me that you will do nothing to any of these settings. Just learn how to find them. I need to explain them to you next week. And all right. Now, I'm going to stop that share, and instead I'm going to share this one right here, which is my other map.
Damn.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Why is it not letting me share? Oh, I need to change. What? 1 second. Hold on. I have not used this one yet, so I need to change the screen privacy settings. 1 second.
Deanna, I accidentally found out how to make the share screen larger. That line in the middle. I don't know if other people might need to know that. I didn't know how to do it before.
Okay. Give me a sec while I show this, and then I'll have you. Okay. So here you go. Now, this is the system's preferences in Catalina. So what I'm sharing you right now, for anyone who has Catalina, your system preferences looks like this, not like the other one that I showed you, okay? And see how you don't have anything down here that says iCloud? What you have is your name up on top, Apple ID, family sharing. This is the system preferences for Catalina. It has visually changed quite a bit. It really is the same information, but it's changed. So for the about 9 of you guys who have Catalina, this thing that says Apple ID, that's equivalent to what I just showed you in the other one that said iCloud. So you need to click on Apple ID and see how now the window is very similar to the one I showed you before. So Apple ID takes you to the same spot where you either will find whether you have photos turned on, or there's either a little minus line, or it's unchecked. There's 3 settings this can have. It could either be checked, line, or unchecked. Just do not change that setting. That's my only request. just know how to get to it. Register it, remember it, or know how to get to it. And then we'll talk next week about those settings. And then the last thing I'm going to show you now is my actual iPad or iPhone settings and how to find them. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this share off because you guys have to do it on all your devices, okay? You have to do it on your free option. So here, now I'm going to show you my iPhone, and the iPhone, there we go. So now you see my iPhone. This that you're seeing, that little screen you're seeing is my iPhone. And it might look different than yours because we all have different amounts of screen settings and stuff, right? But
Right.
this is equivalent to the iPad or to the iPhone. So if you have an iPhone nearby, go grab it because I'm going to show you how to get to the system settings. And what you need to do is go find that same little icon. See over here that it says settings? I'm kind of clicking on it, that guy there, and I'm just kind of clicked on it. That's your settings. And in your settings, so everyone grab your phone and follow with me, or your iPad. This is equivalent at the very top. See how it has my name? At the very top of the screen, it has my name. And in that top right there, you need to put your mouse on that. And then you can scroll down. And right here, see how if I scroll down a bit, right there, you see the word iCloud. You see that? So you need to click on that iCloud with your finger. And here you go. You're in the equivalent place as we were before. Now, what do I mean by equivalent? This is exactly the same except for if something is checked on or off, instead of having a check mark on a phone, it looks like a green little slider, okay? So if it says photos on or contacts or calendars or reminders, it would be a green slider versus, and I'm flipping back to on a Mac, it's just a check mark. It says check mark for mail, check for calendars, check for reminders, check for settings, okay? It's a check. But that means that if your computer receives contacts or mail or photos and it's checked on, then, and I'm going to go back to the phone, if your phone, it's switching. If your phone has it on, this is equivalent. There's a check mark, there's a check mark, there's a check mark. These things are, these in green are equivalent to check marks on your computer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so if your computer has a check on contacts and your phone has a check on contacts, then when you put in someone's phone number that you just met at a party on the phone, it'll show up immediately in your computer because both your computer setting and your phone settings have a check mark on contacts. Does that make sense? So the same thing with your photos. If your photos has a check mark on one and a check mark on the other, then whatever photograph you take on your phone is automatically also showing up on your computer. Does that make sense? I'll go deeper into this. I will go deeper into this, but this is just showing you the layout for you to see where to find this information. Then I'll explain more about how the iCloud works and whether you should have it turned on or not. It depends on how many photos you have, whether you want to pay more and stuff like that. So don't willy-nilly turn them on or off because you could end up losing some photos, okay? So I just want to be clear. Do not change these settings, just read them. Know where they are, and then we'll talk about them next class. All right. A couple of you guys had to, you know, it's 12 p.m. The class technically finishes, weirdly enough, at 11:55. So I've gone 5 minutes over. But so if you need to leave right now, go ahead. I just want to answer Yolanda says, do you need to get out of SPCC right now? Well, you can leave it open because you're on your handouts. Just stay there. You don't need to leave, but you can also leave. It doesn't matter if you don't need any of those handouts. I'm not leaving, Annette. So I'm not leaving. I'm just saying that those of you who need to leave because class is over, then go ahead and I'm done. I will email you information. You can leave the meeting, but if you have a few more questions, I'm still here, so I'll answer your questions. So don't worry. I'm not going to disappear on you. But it is the end of class, and some of you have to rush off as of 5 minutes ago. So keep an ear and an eye out for my emails, and then we'll get deeper into this, and we'll start using the Photos program once we know how all these settings are set up as of next class. I'll see you next Wednesday at 9.
Yes, I had a question.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't think when I went into the iCloud or Apple ID, it looks like I've never actually logged into it on my Mac. And I know you said don't change settings, but I should go ahead and log into it so I have some settings, right?
Actually, that's a great point. Yes. Don't change the photos setting or anything like that. But if you're not logged in at all, then yes, definitely put in your Apple ID into your Mac device. Now, this is pretty important. Both you and Becky both have your own laptops or desktops or something like that, individual different ones?
Yes, she is on the cloud. We both use both machines, but we log in under separate logins.
Okay, so then
So I think that keeps it separate, correct?
Yes, as long as you have two separate logins on both machines, that's fine. Either that or you use one computer and she uses the other, right? So your choice. But if you both have your individual logins and you know how to handle logging into your own accounts, then each login can have its own Apple ID. And if you guys are not understanding what is happening other than them, that's fine. This just goes to the people who are doing that. So then you can have under Becky's login, her Apple ID, and under Owen's login, Owen's Apple ID, in which case then it is going to work fine.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Annette, your hand is up.
Yeah, here's something. At first, when I had Safari up and the Zoom, everything worked. And then suddenly, one of them slipped over to the side, and I could only get one screen at a time. If I clicked on Zoom, I got that. And if I clicked on Safari, I got that. But I couldn't put them both back together again.
Okay.
When something slides off the screen. Just
well, here's the thing. It's going to be easier for me to know how to help you if you share your screen. Although I won't see your Zoom controls, you'll tell me where they are because Zoom doesn't share itself. But I can at least get the idea of what's happening to the rest of your screen to be able to help you. So can you please share your screen with me? And how to do that is 2 steps. You first click the big share screen green button.
Not down below, yeah.
Down below. And then if you're, have you shared your screen with me before, Annette?
I don't remember.
I don't know yet, because when you are on a Mac and the first time you share, you need to change your permissions. So if what you're seeing is some kind of a locked, you can't share, then you need to open your security preferences. But if
I see whiteboard, iPhone.
Okay, so you can. Okay, so then on the bottom right of that window, you see a little blue button that says share. Click on that one.
Okay.
Perfect. Now you're sharing. Okay, great. So here's your screen. And I'm trying to see it a little bit bigger. Hold on. I have another. Here we go. I need to expand it so I can see it better. Okay. So here's your screen. And you see, okay, so open Safari. Go ahead and click on Safari so that it pops up. Yeah, there you go. So that's on like, 3/4-ish of your screen. So go ahead and grab it from the edge and make it a bit smaller just for now until I can set up, see if we can set up both. Yeah, so move it to one side. There you go. So that's you on the browser. Keep going. Okay, so that's you on the browser. Now, ideally on the left side of your screen, you should have your Zoom. And what you're saying is that right now you're not seeing your Zoom, right? Let's see, click on that Zoom icon and see if sometimes that pops it up, sometimes it doesn't, which it did not.
It did before, but now it's not.
Yeah. Another option would be, can you go to, hold down your command key? Hold down your command key
Okay.
on your keyboard, and then now keep it held down, and then hit your tab. Hit your tab. There you go. So now tab twice, tab until your icon, yeah, one more time. No, tab one more time. You need to keep doing it with the tab, not with your mouse. That's not clickable. It's only, there you go. Now let go of your command key. Let's see if it pops zoom up. No, it didn't. Okay. I'm going through all the little options of how it can come up. Another thing that could be another way to see it is, you did the two things that I would have done, and that's not popping it up. Go to your little icon on the dock. Click on the icon with a right click. So the little zoom icon, the zoom icon, the one on the far right, do a right click on it and say show all windows. Go up and let's see then. No available windows. It's like you've closed your, okay, go back to Zoom. Right click on that again. Right click on your icon again, and let's see what other options it's giving you.
You said right click on what again?
Yeah, right click on that little icon where you're at. Yeah. Options, go to options. Keep and dash, show and find all desktop, this steps. Assign to this desktop. See how it says assign to none? Go down to, go to the left. Yeah, and the bottom choice, say go to this desktop. Yeah. It's still not popping up. And I don't know right now why your Zoom is not showing. That's really bizarre.
In the last class that you taught, it happened all the time and drove me crazy. And once in a while, I got a sign from Cox that's saying your internet connection is unstable. So I called them and they said it was fine, it was stable, you know. So.
Yeah, well, they always say that. But no, your Zoom, but the fact that you're talking to me over Zoom and it's not shivering and stuff, that means that it isn't the connection. It's what window you're seeing. Which of course is even harder now that you're sharing your screen, because then you're even in a different set of settings than when you're not sharing. But I see what you're talking about not being able to see both. When you say you can do one at a time, how did you see? Sometimes I was trying to see whether it's only show all desktops. Go back to the icon. You might have Zoom in a different desktop, and I don't want to get into the intricacies than this one. Because your word of sliding out give it away. So go to the Zoom icon one more time and right click one more time. And then go again to options. And then go back to the left again and say assign to all desktops. And let's see if perchance. No, it's still not showing. Okay, that's bizarre. But the fact that it's saying all desktops is crucial, because in mine it doesn't say that. But I don't know if it's because you're sharing your screen or it's because something's happening to your on your keyboard. Yeah. On your keyboard, go to your keyboard and look up at the very top row where it starts with the escape key from left to right. Right. You have the escape key, then you have F1, F2, F3, F4. If you click on F3, that shows all your desktops. Go ahead and do that. Click on F3 and let's see if it switches to see. Oh wow. Okay, click on that again. Hold it down. See how it says desktop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That seems to be your problem. You seem to have like 5, 6 virtual desktops, and you probably have Zoom on a different desktop. And I don't know how you ended up with so many desktops, but that's not good. Go up to click on desktop 1. Go up to the very top and click on
Hit my
desktop.
finger. So I
Not
click-
here. Ignore this. Go all the way up to where it's, oh, go up to where it says desktop 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the red, okay, so see that little X? Click on that X on top and close that one. It doesn't look like you're using any others. And go down to 2, 3, and 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
close all those. Close that one. And then the next one. Yeah, close all the ones that aren't in use. There you go. And now click back on this one. So that'll, I don't know if it'll help us, but it'll clean up your, okay, click on that. Zoom is still not showing, but at least you won't have the issue with desktops. I don't know what to say right now. I need to figure it out.
I'll try clicking Zoom again. No, I don't get it.
Don't you have a little tiny window somewhere? Maybe it's under this window that shows me. Sometimes it shows really tiny. Like if you grab this window and drag it over to the left. And I wouldn't see it, but do you see like a little contact, like a little 1x2 anywhere of?
No.
No. Well, I don't know right now where your Zoom is gone. I think I might need to help you more on your own because I don't want to keep, some people have more photos questions. So for now, I don't know how to help you. I don't know why what is happening for you is happening. But here's the thing. But here is the thing, Annette. The people who do know more about this, about the Zoom and what it doesn't share or not, are the people at the student support, tech support for Zoom. There's a Zoom session you can join where you have City College tech support regarding Zoom questions. So you could show them this screen, the same thing, and ask them what's happening and how to get to see both, okay? So I'm gonna give you that information right now. I believe I have it here. Give me a sec. And this is for everyone. Let me get to it. I need to find it and send it to you. And give me 1 sec because I need to access it. So if you want to stop sharing your screen for someone else to ask their question, but I'm going to give you this information. I need to access it and I'm going to post it in here. And you know what? I should post this also in, I should actually post this in the handouts. I send the email to you guys always, but it's not the same.
Should I stop the share?
Here it is. Copy. Okay, so in the chat, I have just pasted in.
I'm just gonna.
It says from 9 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Check in the chat. No appointment. Just click on this link that I just sent, and you will be connected to a tech support person from SBCC to help you with Zoom questions. Now, the problem by putting it in here is that the moment I close this session, you won't have it anymore. So can you select from the chat the information I just gave you and paste it on somewhere else, onto a notepad or to a desktop? I will send this in the email too. I will send this question in an email. This same link, I'll send it in an email with you guys. And that would be a good question to ask Zoom related questions. There's only a limit to how much I know about Zoom. And after that, I can teach everything under the world about the photos program, but I'm done with Zoom. So you have to click on that link to access it, okay? 569. So even after this class is over, after you've had lunch or whatever, you can access this link by clicking on it anytime between 9 to 4 and show them how when you share the screen, you stop seeing both of them and see if they can help you. 8586. Okay. Just to give you more information, you can drop off clothes. We have a drop-off station right now. Someone has TV or video or sound on. Can you please stop that? We do the laundry. Someone's talking about laundry. Whoever is having something that has laundry. Okay. Just turn this off on your screen. Okay. So Marsha, Pat, or Trisha. Marsha, yeah? Marsha? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You need to turn your sound off.
I've got my extra monitor plugged in. I've got a mirror image. I've got a separate image up, but when I to photos, the extra monitor goes completely blank. Something's not right, and I'm wondering if you can help me.
So you do have two separate images right now on your monitor. is what you're saying.
Would it be possible to screen share with you?
You can, but you can only share one of your screens. So that's why you still need to describe what's happening. You can only share one screen at a time. You know what I mean? And if you have two monitors, now I will only see one of them. But yes.
Okay.
You can.
Okay. Let's see.
screen.
Share screen. Because I tried to do this in our last class that I took with you, where we did all the photo, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I'd love to now. Okay. Let's see now.
Let me send a second. Emma is waiting for an answer from me, and I told her I'd answer after class, and I told her I finished at 12. Let me tell her that I'm still with you guys. Okay, I just had to text her to tell her that I'm to wait. Okay, yeah.
So on my regular screen, I have the built-in display screen.
Okay, so go to arrangement.
Okay.
Okay, so this arrangement might or not be the way your monitors are set up. So do you have the one with the little box there with the white line? That's your main monitor. That's probably your laptop. And the big box would be your second monitor. Now, is your second monitor sitting right to the right of your screen? Do you see it? And is that kind of the way it looks for you? And it goes up and down? Okay.
And on my,
So
on my extra monitor, there's a window that popped up called Sync Master. Do you want me to take a, let's see. And then under, and then underneath it, it says display/color resolution.
Okay, so do the following. Go up to, now you know how where you go up to the top, now it's a zoom thing, the top zoom thing over there, it says at the top of your screen, now that you're sharing your screen, there's an option that says new share. Like, look at the top of your screen. Okay, so click on that new share, and then you'll get the big thing again, and now share the second monitor with me. And then say share again.
Okay, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's how I share different screens with you guys, yeah.
You just amaze me, Anna, honestly.
I've had to learn so much over this summer. Trust me, I am in the
Your
same
brain
learning process as you.
Your brain capacity.
Yeah,
I just wish I could.
Go ahead and switch the screen you're sharing with that process. You need to click on the different one and then hit the share button again. And then I'll see your second screen.
Share button. Okay. New share again?
Yeah, so go to new share, select that second monitor and whatever it's showing, and then hit new share. And then it'll switch to show us your second monitor, the one that you're trying to describe.
When you say new share, do you mean the share button at the very bottom?
No, at the very top now.
Yeah.
You should see, yeah, you're kind of in the right place. Click on share. Yeah, click on the share there, or clear or new share. I don't know what it says. It's the green button.
New share. It says new share. I click on it.
So now all your possible things you can share are popping up again.
Right.
And one of those is your second monitor.
Yeah, I've clicked on it.
Select it. And now on the bottom of that window, there's a little share button, blue button. Click on that share blue button. There we go. Okay. So now you're seeing this. All right. This is, oh, that's the, yeah, you don't need, it's just showing you your second. This is the other part. When you have two monitors, this is the system preferences. and it's showing on the left side on your monitor, it's showing what you were showing me before. And on the right side, it's showing this one. It's showing you the two different monitors. But if you close your system preferences, both of these windows will close and you don't need them anymore. So go to your other monitor, the one we're not seeing, and just close the system preferences. We don't need this anymore. It's just the way you're showing, and then both will disappear.
Systems preferences.
On
All I
your laptop,
yeah,
the one where it said display arrangement and stuff like that, that's your system preferences. Like monitor arrangements, you close that box, and when you close that box, this one will close too. See, there you go. They're both done. So it's the system preferences displaying on both your monitors because you're trying to discover each one. So now it's gone. Okay, so now you have a blank monitor on here. And what you can do then is that you can open up on the laptop, you can have your Zoom, and on this one you can open up, say, your browser by dragging it over, or vice versa. You can drag your Zoom over to this one and have your browser on your laptop. I would say have this be the one that has your iLife. So go ahead and open right now. Go to your dock. Put your mouse, go to the bottom of this window. See your mouse over like put it in the middle of this screen. Can you move your mouse to this screen?
To this screen, okay.
Yeah, I need to see your mouse and I don't see it. So your mouse is probably still on the laptop screen. So drag your mouse to the right of your laptop and it should continue and show up in here.
Right now it's on your face on my screen mouse.
But you're showing, okay, are you showing Zoom on this window? Because if you're showing Zoom on this window, that's why I'm seeing nothing.
I show on my laptop, I'm showing Zoom now.
Okay, and what's on your monitor, your second monitor? Nothing?
It's blank.
Okay, so now put your mouse, grab your mouse,
yes,
and drag it over to the right, and then it'll keep going, and it should show up on this screen. There it is. I'm seeing your mouse now. See that?
Oh, goodness, look at that.
Yeah. So now you're using your second monitor. It's like you suddenly have a really long monitor.
Okay.
Right? Now with this mouse, go and take it to the bottom of this desk monitor, and you'll see how your dock pops open. Is it not set up? Tap the bottom and just leave it down. There's your dock. So it's like another monitor. I know. So now you can go in and open, say, Safari or browser or whatever, and it'll open up in here.
Open up.
Or photos. Yeah, open up your photos. Yeah. And it'll open up in here. And if it does open up in your other screen, which it could be, you might need to drag it over to this screen. It depends.
So it opened up on my laptop.
Okay. So then go to the top of the photos where you see the, just click it and drag it over, move it to this desktop. Imagine that now your desktop, your monitor is this wide and you just need to move it over a bit to the right, only it really ends up moving it to a whole, there it goes.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing, right? It's like suddenly you're in a mansion, whereas before you were in a little spot. And there you go. And now you handle your photos on this side and your Zoom on the other side.
Is there anything I need to do in the future to get back to this point? Because I'm not sure I could ever do it. Or is it just set up now to do that?
Now it's set up that way. If you ever disconnect your monitor from your laptop, then this will pop back into your laptop. Okay. And everything will be in your laptop. And when you connect your monitor again, you might have to drag it over again.
Okay, thank you. This is amazing.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Okay. Any particular question, Pat? You were just hanging out to learn more?
Oh. Right. I was just trying
That's great.
Learn as much as I can. Thanks, though.
Oh. No, you're welcome. And Trisha, anything else I can help you with? Triesha?
Yeah, I'm so confused because everything is like on a laptop or a Mac and I have an iPad. So I never even found where the handouts were.
Okay, so can you, let me stop her screen sharing. And can you share your screen now?
Okay, share my screen.
And I do need, oh my God.
Okay, so I should go.
I think Owen said that next to that there was a thing that said share contents instead of
I
share
went to
screen?
shared contents, but I see you, and then up popped a window that says screen broadcast, Zoom, or start broadcast. So I don't want that, right?
Wait, no, tell me what the options are.
I guess I better open back up my Google Drive or Drive.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but first I need to at least even see.
Should I be on Zoom?
Bye.
Well, for now, be on Zoom, so I
Zoom.
can even see if I can see you sharing yourself. There you
Okay,
go.
here I am.
But that's you. But are you sharing your screen though? No.
No. So now I have to go into Safari.
You need to go and open Safari, but you need to from Zoom. You have to share that Safari screen. So you
So
were reading out to me what it said. Is your Safari still open in the background somewhere?
somewhere, yeah.
Okay. So when you say share content, does it give you the option to share your Safari screen? What does it say when it says share content?
Screen, photos, iCloud, Google Drive,
Okay.
website,
So
bookmark,
Google Drive then?
Google Drive.
Is that the one that, yeah, and Google Drive is the one that you were saying that you were trying to.
Connect to Google Drive. Oh, this is going in a different way. Now it wants me to sign in again and sign in
Oh,
with
yes,
Google.
because once you haven't been in after 10 minutes or so, it kicks you out.
Oh,
So that's the issue with that. But
so now I have to know
make
my
sure that you're in
Google.
the right spot. Okay, so here's the thing. Actually, can you come back?
Yes.
Um, here's my problem. Since I do not have an iPad, I can walk you through everything under the world, but I do not know intuitively how to help you share your screen with your iPad. So the same thing I told
Annette.
So go to this Zoom session, just like when you're done with me, click on, did you copy it? I'll email it to you guys because you need to actually click on a link. Click on a link that you won't have if you just, I guess you could, no, you can't type it in. You have to actually click on it. So I'm going to send you the email with this link. Click on it on your iPad and it'll connect you. Zoom will open up. It'll connect you to them and explain that you are attending a class on your iPad and that when I ask you to share your screen, you don't know how to share your screen, and tell them that what you're trying to get to is to your Google's Drive's shared drive for my class. So just tell them that and they'll know how to get you there. Say that my class handouts are in a shared drive in Pipeline, but I don't know how to get through it through my iPad. Can you please help me? Because
Okay,
we're trying to, she can take me there, but I can't share my screen. Say, I don't know how to share my screen. And that, since it's a Zoom question, they should be able to help you with that. You know what I mean? To teach you how to share your screen correctly. I don't know how to teach you that. I can teach you the rest, but I don't know how to teach you on an iPad to share your screen. I can teach how to use a photos program on the pad, but you'll have to share to tell me where you're at. And that's where I'm drawing a blank. So I'm going to send you this email right now. I'm going to go to the roster.
I don't know if you have my home email.
Well,
I never got anything from you in my Yahoo email.
Okay, so let me see what I have of yours, because I have whatever you gave the school. So if you didn't give the school your personal, let me see. Triesha Wells, there you go. And what I have, and now it's just us. So triesha.wells@yahoo.com.
Yes, but I didn't get anything from you. I didn't get any handouts or anything.
No handouts, but you got an email from me with a link or you wouldn't be in this class, right?
Only I got that through Gmail or through my Pipeline.
Through your Pipeline. Well, I sent it to both because what I do is I click on what's here and paste them in and it goes to everyone. And if this is correct, Triesha wells@yahoo.com,
Yes.
then you should have received it. I'll go ahead and send it to both of
Okay.
your things
Thanks.
again. I will do that right now, and I will send it also to Annette. I'm going to do that right now before I do the whole email for the whole class. I'm just going to email you this link that I just copied so I don't have to, that way before I even delete it, because once I close the windows, I'll lose it too and I'll have to find it again. So let me go quickly into here. And I'm going to send it to these two. Wow. Okay, how about there? And there. There we go. And this is link for SBCC Zoom tech support. I am now going to copy from the chat what I gave you guys. And you're both going to be receiving this in here. Okay, good. So I just sent it to you. And I've sent it to both. So if you're still not getting it in Yahoo, then I don't know why you're not getting Yahoo. But at least it seems you know how to pick up your pipeline email. So
Well, I think that was a fluke. I'm not sure. I really know.
I don't know. So there it is now. And ask them how to share your screen. It's not because they'll say, oh, we don't know how to support iPads. But no, this is Zoom, a Zoom question.
Zoom.
I'm on Zoom and I'm trying to share my screen with my instructor to have her help me, and I don't know how to do it. And then tell them what you're trying to access. So there's two questions there. You're trying to access your Google shared drive that I shared with you. And they should be able to help you do that, and then how to share that screen. Okay, so those are the two. You need to get someone who knows Zoom for iPads. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye then. Take care.
Bye.